on down the hill. Sam Noble looking simple. Don't hold him down. Sam Noble. Take one reset. Dodds just absolute. These competitors here, really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way. Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome once again to Sim Racing World TV. Tonight, it's round 2 for our touring car TCR season, and it's the Battle of the Ashes with a mix of Aussie and English tracks coming our way throughout the season. Tonight, it's Knockhill Racing Circuit, a tight, fast Scottish track that offers limited passing opportunities, so drivers will be applying as much pressure as they can to force a mistake or else save it up for a big dive at the hairpin. It's Cowy, your sim racer here, together with Chef Toddy on Cobbs and Rob Saint and Hater behind the scenes looking after the cameras on tonight's action. It's going to be a great night as we delve into the touring cars once again. Toddy, what do you think, buddy?
Oh, mate, this is going to be a ripper tonight. It's a short track, but it's a very difficult track. It's quite fast flowing, but you have to ride the curbs here, so it's going to be very interesting for those guys in the Audis, especially. It's going to be very, very interesting.
It's going to be an interesting run. I know my team boss Tyson is in the Audi, and he reckons he's going to try and set it up so it can handle the curbs a little bit here. Having experience from last night and dealing with the supercar around here. This is the national layout we are racing tonight, guys. So as you can see there, it's a little bit shorter. You don't have the big hairy hairpin. So, but it still is a tight turn there, so it will be the big passing opportunity here on the track, Toddy.
Most definitely, there's a bit of room to pass as well, hey. So if these guys can get this power down in this TCR around here, it's going to be definitely the advantage around here. Some wide spots to pass, but these things are so difficult to... I did a few laps around here, they're really difficult to kind of... You really have to fight the front wheel drive around this track quite a bit, especially through the doofus dip at the stats turn 1. It's called doofus dip. Yeah, very, very hard to balance the car.
Well, again, it's one of those things. I know, talking with the drivers a bit earlier and asking them their fears and aspirations for tonight's racing here, and they've been telling me the fast guys will be running in the 46s and the 47s.
Wow.
There'll be some good pace out there. They all agree it's a tough track, and they've been sort of talking up the need this week for practice. Of course, there's many of them professing that they haven't had much chance to practice, and the practice that they had has been more in the nature of a Jim's mowing experience rather than sort of racing on the tarmac. So, quite interesting.
Most definitely. It's very hard. It's a very weird sort of cambered track as well, the way it kind of flings you off, especially in these front wheel drives. Especially being unsettled in these, it's hard to get the brakes down.
Well, I know already a few drivers out there have advised me with their extensive Jim's mowing experience. A bit of a shout out to Jake Edwards, Stephanie Piccoli, and I think Josh was the other one Josh Melton gave a shout out, and they all reckon that they've been practicing those sort of grass blade skills so far. The guys have also said that fuel usage tonight's going to be quite interesting. It's about 0.8 a lap. It's our sprint race format for these guys tonight. I suppose I should have said that at the start. Fuel is capped at 30%, but what it means is we have a 20-minute race, then we'll have a little break, and then they come back with a 40-minute race reverse top 10 grid. That second race, if there's a safety car or guys can try and save a bit of fuel, mate, you can't really clutch it in most of these cars, but you can roll out a bit early maybe. But there is a chance it could be a 0 stop in race number 2.
Got the inside word out there, guys. Well, hey. So it could be a 0 stop that second race, yeah, because I suppose it was 45 minutes last week, wasn't it? So, and they only just had to a few of them only just had to kind of pit towards the end there. So
now, I just noticed something interesting. We're on board with Matty Gerard from Velocity Sim Labs, and I just noticed there on sort of exiting the final turn and coming down to turn 1, you can see there where he crossed over that pit lane. Now, I believe that race control might have made a little mention of that, that drivers are supposed to stay inside the track limits and not use the pit lane extra part of the track. So we'll just have to see if race control keeps a close eye on that, or if they maybe look the other way. You can see here, so he's coming into the pit lane almost like you do at Oran Park. Though Oran Park, it's not actually the pit entry. So it will be interesting to see what race control has got to say about that. So far, I haven't heard anything on the radio. What do you think, Toddy?
Yeah,
that'd be a bit of contention for tonight.
I think so, because it is a very blurred line, isn't it? In between that kind of, you kind of are going into the pit lane, but you kind of have to use all the track, as we know.
Well, it's the fastest line, buddy. You know, so how's that camera? That's pretty cool. Going out of focus there.
Does iRacing actually give you a 1x for that? Depends, eh?
I don't think so, because it's part of the track.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. Well, I think it'll be contentious because some people think maybe not to use it. So
well, it's just
might be sold because of it.
Just listening to race control at the moment, Toddy, to see if they maybe make a mention of it. So just getting ready for qualifying to start in a few minutes, guys. So.
And we have a lot of Hyundais once again this week, mate. Wow, hey.
The Veloster is a popular car, buddy. We picked that up last week. That, you know, Scotty Rankin definitely spruiked its positives in the first season.
And in my practice, I haven't got the Veloster, but I was in the Elantra, and I was doing about 700.75 per lap. In this thing, in the Veloster, so maybe the Elantra might use a little bit less fuel than the Veloster. Maybe, who knows? Maybe one to watch out for. We've got Daniel Fritz, who got in an Elantra, so be interesting to see whether he actually can save more fuel.
All right, so I think race control has just clarified. Just listening there, Toddy.
Yep.
So race control has clarified that the pit entry, as long as you keep part of a tyre inside, part of the car inside that blue line, you're going to be fine. If your car crosses all the way over that blue line, that's where race control is going to ping you.
Fair enough, because they consider that you actually entering the pits. Yeah, that's a fair enough call.
Right, so so as long as you keep 2 tyres on the inside of that, then you should be right. And I would maybe expect maybe a black and white flag sort of situation where drivers might get a warning or 2, you know, and maybe that's something they'll keep an eye on. So we do have a fairly decent sized field tonight. What we got 18 drivers out on track, so that's a pretty good field for the TCRs at such a tiny little track where you're doing 46-47 second laps. I think
using
you
under
might
a litre of fuel per lap. Crazy.
Well, that's right. I was going to say that I think the Sainted might have to put that halo on a bit tighter tonight, because there's going to be a fair bit of action out there.
Tyson Styles doing a bit styly on the outside there.
Yeah, awesome.
Absolutely beautiful. So we got qualifying starting very, very soon. Everybody out there in Dual Land.
It's interesting just looking at the timing sheets at the moment, Toddy, and it is the usual suspects up near the front. The Velocity SimLab boys, Dylan DeBono at the top at the moment, and Doug Gowans and Matty Gerard both in the hunt as well. And then poor old Scotty Rankin on his lonesome, like a sandwich right in the middle of a Velocity SimLab burger, I suppose, isn't he? You reckon he's the meat or the patty? Is he the patty or the lettuce? Good luck to you out there, Scotty. I know you've got it up against you. You're driving well, and I know that the boys are, those team tactics come out to the fore at the end of last season, and sometimes it probably feels like he's racing 3 or 4 of them.
I think so. Hey, gets confused who's who. Just tries to go out there and race as hard as he can, but I'm sure he'll try and find some clean air in qualifying.
Well, Jake Edwards here, another one who's Jake's been with us since the start of the TCR season, so he is really enjoying these cars, and I know he was one of the guys that reached out to me today to tell me that he didn't really get much practice. I know quite a few of the boys.
Or is he actually telling the truth?
Well, mate, we had the iRacing Daytona 24-hour on the weekend, and I'm sure that there's quite a few drivers that have been practicing for that. Our team was sort of focusing on the SRW season, so we didn't put in an entry. But again, there is, with that happening, a lot of guys have, probably earned as much brownie points as they could over the weekend, and didn't have any left for any practice for tonight's racing.
Definitely be some tired heads as we head out for qualifying now. This will be interesting to see if we see whether Scotty Rankin qualifies first or whether it'll be a Dylan DeBono night again. So,
well, the hunt is on between those two. It's been, quite heated at times out on track, and this is one of those places where the only real opportunity you're going to have to pass is on that last turn. Otherwise, you're really going to have to be quite aggressive and put your car up in, the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And hope your opponent makes a mistake. I know that a couple of the guys were a little, not concerned, but they thought there might be, they'll have to watch the passes when there's, this is one of those series where you do see a bit of door-to-door action and the bumping and grinding. And because they're front-wheel drive, you can actually hit them in the rear of the car, and these guys can still drive out of, a little bit of tailiness, Unlike the V8 Supercar, you hit it in the rear and it just loops around.
Yeah, you got Jake Edwards on screen as well. And also,
a little bit of it. I think that was a cheeky little flash there, because there's a fair bit going on here. I think that Tyson Styles caught up in the middle of that. I know that's going to be quite interesting when we get to the later races of the week, the V8 combined V8s and that on Sunday, Toddy. I'm wondering if it's going to be a split grid for qualifying. Even 18 TCRs out here. It's looking to get pretty crowded already, and we're only at the start.
It's very, very crowded out there already. Especially with that sun just beaming down as well. That's going to be a bit of a distraction.
I love it.
It's going to be pretty cool.
Well, I was going to say, I've got the hue light system sort of set up so that when the sun comes across the dash, my whole room changes. You get that orange glow. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool.
But these guys will be focused on qualifying. Just remember, 47.1 there for Dylan DeBono. That's not a bad time considering he's still getting these tyres up to temp. Remember, these cars generally take 2 to 3 laps. This being such a short lap, you probably need 4 to 5 before you really get that proper temperature in the tyres and can really send it.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's a lot of these, with these things, it's definitely you're kind of braking and at corner exit, especially being front wheel drive. And it's hard on the old direct drive as well, that sort of braking points and just trying to wrestle this car around is very, very difficult. I'm definitely feeling for Tyson McAvoy tonight. I'm interested to see how he's worked on his tune to get this Audi right, because traditionally they don't really like the curbs, as we know. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he works with that, and whether he can work his setup and his tune to be able to actually make a difference in race tonight.
Well, it's good to see him having a break from race control and jumping in amongst the action. I know that his team had to penalise him last week for contact, so there's certainly the race control boys. It doesn't matter who you are. I might have copped a penalty last night too. So, these things happen, but it's good to see him out there racing. And I know he's pretty busy at the moment, new job and all that sort of stuff that he started over time, so it can be hard to really put the hours in to be right up the front, but he shows his pace, and when he's dialed in, he's certainly a force to be reckoned with.
And talking about dialed in, Matty Gerard's just slotted himself up into second place, and Dylan DeBono's gone all purple sectors last lap, and he's just done 2 purple sectors, 3 purple sectors now. Come on, wowee. So the battle's on between Dylan DeBono and Matty Gerard at the moment.
It's into the 46s, are they now? They're 46 4, Dylan there. But you can see that even sort of, the Velocity doesn't seem to have any trouble with the curb coming up through the jump chicane there. It's one of those things, like I know last night in the V8, you almost sort of had to get your braking done in the uphill part of it, so that you can let off all your inputs and just coast over the top of it. You watch Scotty,
otherwise it gets real.
Have a look at this. Have a look at this here. You'll see how he comes up over and jumps across the curb. Yeah. There. Now that red sausage curb would normally spell doom. Yeah. If you land on that, that's going to flip the car, or let's set it up into the air. But if you can time it so that you get a run up and over and just coast and land the car and then pick up the throttle, you can do it. And as you can see here, these guys are all straight lining that. Let's have a look at Tyson's McAvoy, if we could, please, Mr. Sainted. One of the other Audis as well. Let's have a look and see how he handles that curve. This is the car that really is the stiffest of the lot and has really struggled in the previous season anytime we got to a track where you used a lot of curbs. So let's have a look here and see how much of it he takes.
He seems to be avoiding.
Yeah, no, you see, he didn't take any of that curve there.
Yeah.
Scotty Rankin sent it behind him.
All the curve and had nowhere to brake.
Well, he sent that big tire. Tyson missed the apex there too. And you can see how much time that gave up. So I think he's going to let Scotty through. No, Scotty back.
Oh, yeah, if I was him, I'd let Scotty through and then just jump on the back of him. Good laps out of him, eh? Good laps of drop.
He did get out of the way there. So, all right. So let's see. Yep, keeping 2 tyres inside, so no problems there for Tyson. It's going to be rather interesting, this track, buddy. Now, it is a sprint round tonight, I will say so. When this qualifying clicks to 15 minutes, that's it. It ends. So you won't get a chance to finish your lap. So, 6 minutes gone already, buddy. So we're starting to see these times come down as those tyres get up to 10.
Wow, we've got the top 3 into the 46s now, mate. Wow.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, that's the pace, and then there's the next 4 into the 47s. Those guys in the 48s, there's like 3 of them in the 48 flat. So it's starting to tighten up. There's a few cars that haven't gone out or haven't put a lap down yet. But again, we've seen here sort of quite a few runoffs as people are trying to find their sort of their turning points there. Yeah. Look, it's turning points and break points, and one of the things about it is if you get it wrong, there's really nowhere else to go but to go out there and mow the lawn for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly right. And I'm thinking tonight we might not see that many safety cars, because even if there is issues, there's enough runoff on this track and enough grass to mow, if you know what I mean, to inhibit the safety car a little bit, I think.
So, a little bit of history about this place, buddy. So as usual, I did my research.
Nice one.
This is, Knockhill Racing Circuit. So we're in, it's Fife, Scotland, or Fife. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. But it is the only FIA graded Grade 3 licensed track in Scotland. And it's effectively their national sort of motorsports centre here. It was actually formed connecting service roads to a mineral railway that was out of service about 20 years. So it's sort of had Pro-Am, British and Scottish races here since the early 70s. One of the interesting things about it though is that it's got over 120 feet of elevation changes, right? And also includes an intersection for sort of motocross and rallycross, right? In 2008, Leslie's Bend was named in honour of a race car driver, David Leslie, who lost his life in an aircraft accident around here. But the other part about it is they actually started re-racing back here in 2012 and changed it so it had an anti-clockwise direction as well. And it's actually the only track in Europe. Well, sorry, it was the first track in Europe to be registered as road racing in both directions. Pretty cool.
Well, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it is definitely a very a British slash kind of Scottish thing for racetrack. It's very much like that dip is very much reminiscent of Brands Hatch, you know.
Well,
Kind of dip
funny
that goes
you
in the
say
cat
that.
area, yeah.
Well, funny you say that, buddy. This is our Wednesday night doubleheader here at SRW, all thanks to our series sponsor, Warren and Brown, the promo safety department. The promo department is our safety car sponsor once again, and of course our other great sponsors, Fast Track Experiences, Racecraft, Grim Industries, Toyo Sim, Melville Equipment Corps, and Dragon RC as well. Great to have them all on board. But this is Knockhill, and as our double header tonight, the F3s, guess where they are?
Brands Hatch, mate. Brands Hatch,
buddy. So, like for like. Brands Hatch, that's going to be a tricky one for the F3s. For them, it's their standard round. They had a sprint round last week at Silverstone, which was awesome racing, and 30 plus cars in the field. So hopefully we have another big field tonight for Brands Hatch. But
yeah, it's either a love it or a hated track, so I wouldn't be surprised if some people use it as a drop round or just don't even come.
You
I love that Brands Hatch.
Can't hate it,
A big battle on with Scotty Rankitt's trying to push out here. Trying to get this next lap.
Who was
He's
that?
only 1/10 outside, exactly almost 1/10 outside of Dylan DeBono at first at the moment, bro.
Well, that was Matty Keane taking an exit on the dirt to let him through. But it is close. Yeah. So what have we got? A 46-1, a 7. Plays a 46-2-7.
Come on, look at that. It's so close, mate. And Scotty's just done a purple sector, first sector as well, so we'll see if he's been able to drop that 10th, but he did do an orange and then a green sector, so he might be just warring with that car a bit at the moment, but he'd be perfectly in that tyre window right now.
This is the point where you're starting to, push the car about as hard as you can push it. So, in a lot of cases, this is where we start to see the little mistakes and that from some of us more amateurish drivers. But in saying that, that's why we have those names that keep making it to the front of these grids time after time, is because they are just able to find those extra few tenths and their nice launch there. See how stiff that Audi was there for Tyson as well, bouncing around.
Wow.
He tries to push it hard.
Well, he's got that setup pretty dialed in actually now. He's using that launch to his advantage a little bit, Chris.
Currently just sitting outside the top 10 with a 48.4, his best. So still got, try and find a little more. There's all green sectors here for Tyson, so this might move him up the ladder. What have we got? There's that 47.4 from Tyson McAvoy. So that's jumped him up into 10th position now.
Up into the top 10, what a legend.
We're having a look at, is that Tyson Styles we're looking at now? He's got a 48.1 on that last lap. Currently a 47 flat. Oh, look at how close it is.
That Scotty Rankin went faster, and then Dylan DeBono answered him and went even faster again. Come on.
DeBono with a 46.08 now, so we found another 10th. Scotty Rankin with a 46.2. Doug Gowans, 46.7. And then we've got Jake Edwards with a 47.01. So that's crazy. He's got a 40. Tyson Styles with a 47.07. Matt Keane with a 47.1. Josh Milton with a 47.16. 47.23 for Matty Gerard. 47.25 for Daniel Fritz. Like, you look at those 5 cars, there's just a tiny bit over 2 tenths separating 5 cars. That is crazy.
That is crazy. And just everybody out there in viewer land, literally anything, even breaking the 50-second barrier in these cars around this track is really, really hard. And I think that speaks to the caliber of drivers we have in the league as well. It's just crazy, man. We've got literally 16 drivers all under 50 seconds. Just absolutely killing it. Like, it's amazing.
And out there in YouTube land, thanks Contagious. Shout out to Andrew Proctor Towing. Do you think the tow truck might be required tonight? These TCRs around this circuit. I tell you what, we raced the amateur V8 supercar race last night, the Tuesday AM league, and we expected a safety car or two at least, and we didn't have one all night for a sprint round. So I'm going to be optimistic, and I think it might be a 0 appearance with a safety car tonight. What do you think, Toddy?
I think there's enough runoff. Hey, I think there's enough grasses runoff that I don't think we will. These cars are small enough to be able to get off track quick enough. To,
hang on, Toddy. You don't understand the rules of this. I've already claimed a 0, so you can't claim a 0 as well, buddy. You've got to...
Okay. As a total, we've got 2 races. We've got the reverse grid. The reverse grid, in total tonight, I think we'll see 2 safety cars for the whole night. That's my prediction. For the whole night.
So, okay, so you're hedging your bets. You're trying to count. Well, see, that's different because F3s at Brands Hatch could be a completely different story. Because as I've said plenty of times before, an F3 breaks if you look at it wrong.
Yeah, true. But these things are pretty good. These things take a beating. But I've had a couple of official races. If you get sandwiched sometimes, the rear suspension is quite prone to breaking.
All right. Well, there we have it. Qualifying has come to an end, and it is the Dylan DeBono show once again with a 46.075 to take pole position for round 2 here at Knockhill tonight. Scotty Rankin for Team SRW, just a tenth behind with a 146. Was that 2.5? Close times there, guys. Doug Gowans and Matty Keane making up the second row, so 2 Velocity SimLab machines at the front, and Matty Keane with the SLM Motorsports machine putting that on the second row as well. Jake Edwards, Crisscross Racing P5, Tyson Styles, his teammate alongside him. Joshua Melton and Matty Gerard make up the 4th row. Joshua independent, unless you have got a team, make sure you let us know the info there, Josh. Matty Gerard for Velocity Sim Roads, Daniel Fritz the Whiskey Runner, and Tyson McAvoy for Performance Sim Racing rounding out the top 10. Mark Cochran and Max Donnelly P11 and 12. Oh wow. Then we have Greg Johnston, Andrew Proctor, Stephanie Piccoli, Tyrone Walsh, Greg Leake and Michael Locke, bringing up our 18 car grid for tonight. Have a look at it. See their layout there. It's got that layout there, a little bit of a frying pan layout, I suppose. But you can see it is fast, it is flowing, and the curbs, they bite. So, what's your prediction for tonight, Toddy?
I think we're going to see a lot of lawn mowing. Hopefully not too many. And only hopefully 2 safety cars. So.
Awesome stuff. All right, well, we can see the car here. The car's revving up. We're just waiting on the lights. Once we get those 5 lights and they all come up and go out, we are green. This is round 2 for SRW TCRs here at Knoxville Racing Circuit, and they are off. Great start by Dylan DeBono there. A little bit slow, bogged down a little bit there, Scotty Rankin, but looks like the field has got away clear.
We got Greg Johnston as well. Greg Johnston starting from the pits by the looks of that as well. So a clean start from the top 3 there.
Oh, not 3 deep there, but you can see that Dylan immediately has got out to about a 0.7 second lead already. But Scotty Rankin pushing hard to try and not let him get away. Jake Edwards has slotted in a P3. Sorry, Toddy, I missed that.
Tyson McAvoy slipped down to 19th here. It seems like he's had a bit of a moment just off the start there. He might have got caught in something there. We did see a bit of smoke there, so who knows?
We'll have to try and have a look at that once everything settles down. Jake Edwards is the first of our movers. He's up 2 spots. Tyson Styles also up 2 spots on the grid. Daniel Fritz up 3 spots into 6th position at the moment. So it looks like Greg Johnston, Doug Gowans and Tyson McAvoy, they are the big losers. So I would be surprised if something's happened there between maybe Doug and Tyson. And Greg in the middle. Something's happened to Donnelly as well.
Max has slipped down to 18th as well, and he's in the pit. So,
right, here we go. So 2 wide down through T2. Looking at 3 wide here. Oh, this is crazy.
As well.
Oh no, a little tap there on the inside from Tyson. And
this is cold breaks in that out.
Contact on the way through. So I think my team boss might be in a little bit of trouble there, but we will leave it for race control to decide.
Of course, that's just cold tyres, you know.
and-
Cold tyres and being
Well,
3 wide, you know. It's just
Matt Donnelly
how that-
decided to come into the pits, so maybe he suffered a fair bit of damage out of that as well. So he's come into the pits, dropped to the back of the field, but he does have a fixed car, so that will help. Have a look at Tyrone Walsh here at the moment. He's up 4 positions at the moment, qualified 16th, and now has that paint splattered machine. Was that the STM machine there?
STM boys. With
STM boys.
Keith as their thoughts.
All right, we'll have to get Tyrone, when you watch back the stream, buddy, make sure you get the drivers, SDK drivers app up and running and get your details in there so we make sure we get all that right. But the car is looking spectacular there, buddy, and so far a good run up 4. All right, having a look at Matty Keane, his teammate as well. Now he's running in P5 at the moment. Did put a P4 on the grid, so we didn't see there. Was that Tyson's move on him there, or he had a little... What was that, Toddy?
Matty Keane actually had a blinder last lap that we actually kind of missed there at the end of qualifying there. That's how he slotted himself past Jake Edwards there into 4th place, but through that earlier kerfuffle, he just jumped on the brakes and Tyson Styles and Jake Edwards just slipped past him on the inside.
Okay, well, sometimes it's safer to jump on the brakes when you're on the outside than try to fight it, you know, and we can see he had a fair bit of commitment. Oh, look at that! Oh. Stephanie using all of the curb there. I wonder if that's a slowdown. Yeah, look, she's letting out of it a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if she got a slowdown for that. You can see here, like you
on the hunt back here, trying to get around.
Greg Johnson. Johnson. I like it. It was a good move there from Tyson, trying to recover. He probably is going to need a few more spots, but yeah, there's his drive-through penalty. I didn't hear race control call it out, but I thought it was coming. So
at least around here, it's a pretty short pit lane.
Look,
so
I think I saw a comment in the stream last night where someone's saying, or it might have even been Shibby that said it on the stream, at least we're seeing the guys having a go, right? It's very much one of those tracks where if you just sit in behind, you'll hold your position. Don't make any mistakes. You should hold your position because it is quite difficult to pass around here.
Yeah, it is.
But, you know, but to make that attempt to pass means you might have to send it a little, or you might have to try and play peekaboo and really get in your opponent's mirror a lot. It's quite difficult, but you know, it's good to see, you know, the guys are prepared to do that. I mean, Tyson, he thought he had room to go 3 wide into T1.
Oh, Matty Gerard getting it sideways there.
Oh, you can see.
Man, he caught that nicely.
Well, it's one of those. It's one of the characteristics of this car that, you know, like the rear. As long as you got grip at the front, you can drive it out of it. We just saw that there perfectly. I definitely even lifted, mate.
Yeah, you definitely get, but it actually pays to actually get more in the gas. Give it more jam when you're in that situation. It kind of.
And I know the guys have talked about sort of almost using the brake to help turn the car, like just lock it up in the rear almost.
Yeah,
so,
almost a bit of accelerator and your left foot braking a little bit at the same time, but then also a lot of downshift rotation to try and kick the back out, if you know what I mean.
Michael Locks.
Yeah, a lot earlier before the apex. And a lot of the time in these cars, you're actually doing all your braking, you're actually accelerating through the apex, which is different to a lot of cars that you actually drive.
That was Michael Lock back there we were looking at before, just getting laps. So something's happened to Michael fairly early on in the race. It was some heavy damage, and that's put him a lap down. Matty Gerard
one of the guys
a lap down as well. So, and he was caught up with Tyson there early on. So, at the moment, it is still Dylan DeBono and Scott Rankin, Jake Edwards making up our top 3. This is race number 1 of our sprint format here for the TCRs at Knoxville. 20-minute race, and remember, the next one, that's our 40-minute feature, reverse top 10 grid. So we need to keep an eye on that 10th position. Currently, I think it is Douglas Gowan, the Velocity Sim Lab machine in P10. Who's that? That's had an off there. That's Michael Locke again. So Michael may be struggling here a bit tonight and just trying to stay out of the way of everyone by the looks of it. We're having a look here at
Tyrone Walsh is having a bit of a moment.
Thanks for the comments out there, Mick. Go Gallon and Piccoli, Team Apex. Awesome. Thanks very much for tuning in, buddy. And make sure out there, if you are enjoying the show, please give us a like and subscribe on all of our socials. Hit that like button and notifications so you don't miss out on any of the great action we have here at SRW. This is TCR Land, Scotland, Fife, Scotland, at Knoxville Racing Circuit, and it's tight, it's twisty, it's fast, and you can see here Joshua Melton trying to put some pressure on Daniel Fritz here. We might try and stay with this action for a little bit, but this is where it's at. Both Velocitas by the looks of it again, Toddy. There's a few of them out there.
Cowy as well. These guys, you can see Joshua Melton's been lining this up, and going on to what you were saying earlier as well, is that there's not many places to pass here. It might look like a pretty wide track. There's not many places to pass, and you can see that Joshua Melton was sort of setting that up for a couple of laps now. But now he's under pressure from Mark Cochran because he was trying to set that up, and he's been looking forward the whole time. He's slowed down a bit, missed a bit of an apex now, and now he's under pressure. So,
we've seen it before, Toddy, that these cars are one of those cars that really had the draft effect evident with them for sure. You're a lot slower if you're by your own than if you're in a pack that are working together. In saying that, you're also a lot slower if you're in a pack trying to fight for the place. So, Joshua and Daniel here battling hard. We can see that Mark Cochran has already sort of closed up a few tenths on the back of this battle. And that's where it's going to be at. See another tenth there as he comes over the jump. So give this another couple of laps, and he's going to be right on the back of him.
Yep. And that's the thing. I think he's setting it up, build the pressure for a couple of laps, and then you'll find it, I think, probably like that third or fourth lap. Probably that third lap, if I was on this point. I think he's probably going to try and make his move this lap now.
Oh, look at that. A great slingshot out of the last corner by Joshua Melton. He's getting up alongside. He should be able to get this done.
Down to
He's going to try and go too wide. Yeah, no, so he can easily cross over. And Daniel Fritz realising that the futility of trying to hold him off there. And did the smart thing, slot him behind. And now see if Daniel can use a bit of the toe to get that run and return the favour. Oh, look at this four-way action here. As we're watching, this is Greg Johnson, Tyson McAvoy, and our race leader Dylan DeBono right in the middle of this.
Wow, there's a whole lot of blue flags waving right now, and there's it's not a nice pressure put spot.
Oh, well, there's a battle going on in front of him.
And
look at that. Is that maybe a nice little sneaky advantage there, Tyson, where you've seen the leader coming, knowing that someone's going to have to get out of it?
Yeah, 100%. That's the option I would have taken. I would have tried to just gun it.
The 8 told to redress back under Blake. I think that's Blake Gallen told to redress with Max Donnelly there. That's just happened. So there must have been a bit of contact there. But they've sorted it out and kept the race going, which is great to see.
Yeah, yes. and talking about Team Greg, by the way, Greg Leake is up 7 spots. He was up 8 spots earlier, but he's up into 10th now, up 7 spots.
Yeah, so he's a big mover.
Mate.
Look at that. Is that all Velocitas in the top 10?
Wow, is it? Is there not one Elantra in there? I'm pretty sure
there might be an Elantra or two.
Yeah.
Or Honda's top 10, I should say. Yeah. No, that's Hyundai.
Hyundais.
Hyundais. Yeah, that's Hyundai. That'd be mostly Velocitas.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It'll be interesting if they bring out that the brand new Type R Civic. That'd be great, Neil.
They just calling me out on the stream there. It's Knockhill, not Knoxville. Well, someone, I saw a comment in the Discord a bit earlier where someone maybe made a caption of a car jumping over it and called it Johnny Knoxville circuit. So, and
You
thinking that
started
it
straight with
might have been
Knockhill, and then you went Knockhill, and then I think you went to Knockhill. So yeah, it's
migrated there. Well, people maybe think that this is a bit of a jackass circuit, so we'll, see how we go.
It's the
Awesome,
JA
boys.
layout, right?
Well,
Not
that's
the
it.
GP, the JA layout. Loving it. Man, these velocities. I'm pretty sure Fritzy was in an Elantra last week, so it's interesting to see him into the...
I believe you're allowed one change. I remember reading the rule book earlier, and you can change cars once.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you're locked into that car. So, so maybe the guy's deciding that, there are a big bunch of these guys have all gone to the Veloster, so it seems to be the car of choice. But having a look here at Max Donnelly, he's in the Audi. There's that Greg Johnson in front of him.
Go hard. Go hard, cuz. Sorry.
Greg Johnson in the Honda in front of him, so yeah.
He's absolutely they're representing the Kiwis. One of the only two Audis on the grid as well. Other than your boss, is the only other Audi out there. So yeah.
Well, this is a battle on track. Max Donnelly and Greg Johnson. Max Donnelly was asked to redress back behind Greg, so he's obviously made one attempt at a pass with a bit of contact. Under to one, thanks for that, Mr. Sainted. We also, the other thing is going to be that, he's got Jake Edwards running in P3, only a couple of seconds behind. Andrew Proctor's already let him through, so, when you got the leaders already catching these guys at the back, being such a short lap, 47 seconds, these are the guys that maybe made one mistake in the race so far. Had a little off, lost a bit of time, and now they've got the leaders catching them. It's crazy pace when you think about it.
Crazy pace, and one thing we see about Jake Edwards as well. Sometimes he doesn't. He always kind of qualifies. Might not be the best qualifier. He always kind of qualify that 5th, 6th place, which is really good anyway. But his racecraft is awesome, man. He's patient, and he'll just kind of pick his way through the pack as he has. He's already up 2 spots up into the podium position. But you'll see him. He'll just be consistent laps, get in a groove, and just breathe through it. He's brilliant in that way, and that kind of comes from experience, right? And you can tell that he's done hundreds and thousands of laps, right?
You can see that the top 4 have all spread out, so each position is about 5 or 6 seconds separated. So it is Dylan DeBono in P1, Scott Rankin P2, Jake Edwards running out the podium as it currently stands. We are about 12 minutes into our 20-minute heat race. Remember, this is only race number 1 of tonight's show here on SRW TV. We have a sprint round format for the TCRs here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. This is the 20-minute sprint race. This will be followed by a 40-minute feature with a reverse top 10. So keep an eye on those positions down as we look back at the top 10. It's Greg Leake, Mark Cochran battling for 9 and 10 at the moment. Tyrone Walsh nearby this battle as well. What's this, a battle pack of 4 or 5 cars? Daniel Fitz, Doug Gowan joining that little battle there. But once this race finishes, we've got that 40-minute reverse top 10. Then we will go over to the F3s, and they have a 60-minute feature race at Brands Hatch tonight, which I would say is, if you were going to pick a sister track for Knockhill, it'd probably be Brands Hatch.
100%. Same sort of elevation changes, even more challenging than Brands Hatch. I think it's got a bunch of similar tracks as Brands Hatch, but they kind of, the camber changes and the doofus dip, just insane. It's a lot more aggressive than what Brands Hatch is, but you get a lot more sort of variety in corners in Brands Hatch. I suppose that'd be the biggest difference.
Well, I'm just going to have to remind the guys out there in YouTube and Facebook there not to put too many comments up there now, because I'm going to have to keep looking at that Knockhill versus not Knoxville all night. It's all good. Let us know how you think the stream is going, guys. Who's your favourite racer out there? Who you think is our racer of the night so far? What I would like to do, Rob, and if we can maybe get race control, the We're going to maybe pick our driver of the night, maybe from the back, who's got the most, maybe the most ground, or maybe the best move of the night. And we'd like to maybe try and bring another driver in so we can have a bit of a chat to them. We tend to hear a bit from Scotty and Doug and
Leaky, and he's the most improved this set. You know, this is second round now, and Leaky has just been so improved, man. Like wowee, like last week, just killing it. This week, I think he was up like 8 positions last week, or 10 positions. He's up 7 positions already this week.
Yeah, that's right. Blake Gallen is also up 6 as well, so he's doing pretty good. Tyrone Walsh up 5. Jake Edwards and Tyson Styles are up a couple. Mark Cochran also up a couple. So there's a fair good movers. I think our big loser, Matty Gerard, looks like he is like a lap down and in big trouble. Michael Locke just coming back into the pits as well. Stephanie McCauley, and I've happened to Stephanie. She still is on the lead lap, I think, but has got Dylan DeBono now closing in on her. All right, Michael Locke's had a crash. Is this what's happened? Okay.
Oh, missed his breaking point by the look of that, Cowy. Oh.
I don't know. I think he's probably more got out of the way of the other sort of saw a bunch of cars behind, and he's got out of the way there. Look at that. There's on the outside.
Oh, he's flashing a bit. Maybe that's.
Yeah, no, he's let him through there. A whole bit of contact. A little bit of contact.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But I just realised as well, Leaky's going to start number 1. He's going to start first on the grid for a reverse grid. And the beauty of that, we know how well Greg Leake is getting his elbow.
A little bit early, Toddy. We've still got 3-4 minutes of this race remaining, so minute 45. Mr. Sainted tells me. That's right.
2 laps there. 2 laps and a bit. So, you know,
all it all comes down to how if the leader gets across the line before that last minute. Yep. But having a look at Daniel Fritz here running in P7 at the moment. Daniel's having a pretty good race up a couple of spots, and he's right in the middle of a battle here. So these guys have been sort of nose to tail for most of this race. Again, shows how difficult a track Knockhill can be to pass, but that doesn't mean you can't stick your bonnet right up the butt. Your bonnet, I should say, right up the butt of the car in front, and maybe put a bit of pressure on. But so far,
you just want to give yourself enough space to see. As we know, once you're under draft, especially in these cars, because front wheel drive, all your braking's there as well. If you're under draft and you're like the 3rd car or the 4th car, as we're seeing right now, your braking point, you have to brake a lot earlier, and you know it can become put you off a little bit, especially in these cars. So you might miss your earlier braking point.
Oh, look at it here. That Mark Cochran looking to try and get a good run on Daniel Fritz there. And you can just see, well, what you've got to do when you're in behind another car is you've got to brake before the car in front. That's the first thing you have to do. If you don't do that, then you're going to be hitting him. So you've always got to brake a bit earlier. So therefore, unless you can get to a position where you can brake later and put the car up the inside, which is pretty hard here at Knockhill.
And safely.
Correct, without contact. Otherwise, then you've got to look at getting him on the exit. So that's where you're trying to make him take a defensive line that maybe forces a little bit less speed on exit to give you the opportunity the next. We see it time and time again that sometimes at some of these tracks, I know Fuji, for instance, where you get up alongside them and then it still takes 5 corners to get the pass actually done.
Coming in to check the flag. We've got Dylan DeBono and Scotty Rankin in 1st and 2nd crossing the line. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, that's exactly right. Look at that. Dylan DeBono did it easy up front, finished about 6-7 seconds ahead of Scott Rankin. It's another 7 seconds back to Jake Edwards coming across the line. Tyson Styles, look at that, that's 7 seconds as well back to Tyson Styles. So we can see here that, well, you can see here that once you sort of get a little bit of a gap, it stabilises.
Yeah,
these guys were doing 47s. Well, they're doing 47s, 48s for most of the race. The guys up front managed 46s, all 3 of them on their last lap, so they were certainly in the groove. Well, the margins are so close, Toddy, that once you gain a bit of a gap, it's really hard to bring it down.
Oh, mate, it took me at least probably 45 laps going around here in a TCR to try and get under the 50-second mark. So these guys are amazing.
All right, so here we have our Heat 1 results. It is Dylan DeBono defeating Scott Rankins, Jake Edwards, Tyson Styles, Matty Keane, Doug Gowans, Daniel Fritz, Mark Cochran, Joshua Melton, and Greg Leake. 10th position, pole position for race number 2.
Hold it.
So Leakey up 7 from his starting position, puts it on pole. Look at that. And, I could see Tyson was chasing him down, finished about a second behind Greg. So Tyson was really hunting for that P10. Just missed out, buddy. Maybe you shouldn't tap a car into T1 like you told me. No, I won't say anything like that.
Oh, shots fired.
Well, I did put out an apology last night to Ty Delaney, because I made contact with Ty in T1, and he said it's all good, man. He knew it was racing, and I wasn't deliberately doing it. But he's a great kid, and starting to find his pace, and being a little tadpole in that big fishy pond. It won't be long before he'll be flogging all of us, mate.
Oh, mate, he'll have big teeth in no time, right?
Yeah,
he'll have big teeth in no time. He's just got little baby teeth at the moment, but they're definitely growing faster than we'd like them to be growing, to be honest.
All right, so there's going to be a couple of quicker cars at the back of this pack for race number 2. Matty Gerard back there in P19, so he's got quite a bit of work to do. We've got Leakey. We're going to drag Leakey in. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Thank you very much. So apologies for that, guys, but we've got Greg Leak. We're going to try and see if we can get him down here into the broadcast and have a bit of a chat to him, because I'm sure he enjoyed that race.
Oh, and mate, what a effort from him. He just profited from that early stuff, and that's what he's getting really good at, is keeping his nose clean, keeping out of the melees, and that's what I suppose the last couple of seasons has kind of gotten messed up with that, and just gotten the wrong end of the stick sometimes.
Leakey's a racer. He loves getting in amongst it and racing with people, and I know he's had a target painted on his back a couple of times and ended up with contact with various cars, but it's good to see him finding a class that he's really enjoying racing, and can put it up there and put in some good results. Because look, this is a fast field.
And we know he's good at putting his elbows out as well, so it's going to be really interesting to see how much he can. If he can get a good start, he'll be able to hold him off for a bit, I reckon. So it'll be interesting.
Well, talking about starts, have a look at this. This is Scotty Rankin practicing his start on the grid there.
Woohoo! That's an ominous sign, isn't it? If
you hold the fort for a moment, Toddy. I'm going to try and go up and see if I can get Greggy to come down and have a chat with us.
Oh, fantastic. Here we go. We got Scotty Rankin on screen just doing some practice starts. That's always an ominous scene to see him out there and just doing his practice start. So that means he's going to try and make sure he nails that start. We saw the first start that he had. Scotty Rankin's first start was absolutely annihilating fast, but Dylan DeBono had a great start. But then also Jake Edwards had a great start as well, along with Tyson Styles as well, and that's how they teammates got themselves up into the third and fourth position right from the start of that race, and they just held everybody off. Got in a groove, got in a really nice groove, and put out some really consistent laps. And those top 5 guys were sitting in the 47s that whole time. And believe me, everybody out there, even if you're not an iRacer, and even if you are an iRacer, you understand how hard it is to get this car around this track in anything under in these cars, especially obviously you think about qualifying rate, fuel weight. These guys would be a bit quicker in qualifying, but these guys were still doing 47s, averaging 47s and 46s in the middle of race. So that's on that's only on 20 minutes fuel race fuel weight, but still it goes to show there's a lot of consistency out there. Especially if you get your setup right, your tuning right, and then make sure you get your tyre pressures and your tyre temperatures right, and make sure you're pushing at the right times when you got the right tyre window also. So we see a bunch of guys, Bill Gowan's having a bit of a practice start off as well. along with
that's trying it, buddy.
Cowy, confused about what's going on, but she's doing some. Oh no, it's Gallon. Sorry, Gallon doing some practice starts. The teammates there.
I think they're all trying to maximise it there. So I had a quick chat to Greggy. He's not in the best of health at the moment. So everyone here at SRW to give Greggy the best of health. Great to see that he made it to be able to race tonight on the grid, but his voice just wouldn't hold out. So I'm sure he'll try and come down and have a chat to us if he manages to keep it on pole here for this race. But I'm sure, from everyone here at SRW, Greg, we wish you the best, buddy. And, we love having you racing with us, mate. And want you to look after yourself. So best wishes with everything, mate. All right. Well, here is the grid for race number 2, our feature. We're running out of time for me to call them all out. We've mentioned them, but it will be Greg Leake and Josh Melton leading off the pack. And they've been practicing their starts. So let's see how it goes, Toddy. Race number 2.
That'll be interesting to see. Danny Fritz has got some pace. So
all right, well, here come the lights. Let's get ready to rumble here at Knockhill. 5 red lights. When they go out, we are green. Oh no, Leakey's jumped the start. He managed to stop it, so I'm hoping that's. Oh, what is that going to be? An iRacing black flag? I don't know. It's going across the grass.
Black flag. So he's let quite a few people pass now. So he's kept his 4th position. Oh, he's back up into 3rd now. So I think SDK is just having a bit of conniption here, guys. But that's all good.
Oh, that's like a couple of spots. That P3 there. Look, there's a tumbling down the order. Who's that tumbling down? Is that Jake Edwards, Joshua Melton, Dylan? All 3 of them.
Edwards.
All 3 of them tumbling down the order. Mark Cochran has found his way to the front. Matty Keane, Scott Rankin up 5 spots into P4. They're all on the radio, so there's going to be a
Bono getting hit in the background. Cowy. That was Dylan DeBono getting caught up in that. We just saw that Velocity Sim car. Battle of the Audis.
Oh, Max Donnelly in the heart of that. Greg Leake. So something. What's happened to Leaky? Leaky is piled down the field as well, so something's happened to Greg now too.
No, that would have been his drive-through penalty for the start, jumping the start.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's cruel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so hard.
It's the rear and how he did not make contact there with Tyson Styles. I do not know. That would have been so close.
Wow. You could see he kind of gave him enough room, but then he was on the brakes, on the dirt, on the outside. That left rear, man. That was probably like a centimetre of dirt on that, and he was over. Yeah. He was around. That's just these.
Wow! Look at that, Doug Gowans has made his way past Mark Cochran. So there's another pass that we've missed. So there's a fair bit to unpack there from the start. We might have to try and have a look at that as soon as we can, Mr. Sainter. But at the moment, it is Doug Gowans ahead of Mark Cochran and Scotty Rankin into P3.
Wow, Scotty Rankin just profiting from that. But Matty Keane's got some pace as well. So Matty Keane will be putting some pressure on Scotty Rankin, I think. So thanks to TSL Welding Services for this action replay.
This is the pass, is it?
Mark Cochran, yeah.
That's Doug Gowans with a nice send up the inside.
Late on the brakes as well, pushing.
Yeah, so Mark Cochran maybe just going a bit wide there or trying to get a good line. And all right, there's a fair bit going
on. Get one back to the team here.
All right, so there's a fair bit called out by race control then.
I bet it would have been. There's a lot of unpack. I don't envy their situation right now. See if we see a safety car. Maybe it's the start of my prediction of 2. But as we said, there's plenty of runoff here, so there's plenty of grass. So
and these cars can take a fair bit of a beating. So, you'd have to whack the wall pretty hard to then not be able to drive the cover. And as you just say that, Toddy, safety car has been called. So. Wow, so a fair bit to unpack there.
Matty Duran up 15 spots up into 4th. Man, did he stay out of the trouble? What an absolute legend. He's
think
always
there's
been
a few of these guys
That's the last thing as well.
Well, remember when we said before that we talked about, this maybe being a one-stop of fuel of the safety car. We've seen a couple of guys go in the pits. Looks like probably about half the field, well, no, most of them have pitted, except for the top 4. So Doug Gowan, Scott Rankin, Matthew Gerard and Max Donnelly have not pitted. Looks like Stephanie Coley has not pitted either, so she finds herself up 10 spots.
Come on, push on.
Yeah, so, well, look, there is an issue because if the safety car slows this down enough, they may well be able to make it home, as we talked about, Toddy. So that might be a master stroke strategy.
Working together is going to be gangster as well, because these guys will work together really well, especially on the restart.
Look at this. Look at it all bunched. It's all bunched up here now by the safety car. So,
we got Max Donnelly and Blake Gallen and Stephanie all in the pits.
Okay, whoa. So I thought they might have been able to make it. So maybe safety cars bunched them all back up. It's only going to be one more lap and it's not enough. Okay, well.
Pushing for blood now.
Gowan, Scott Rankin and Matty Gerard haven't pitted, so it was just Stephanie that's decided to jump in. Max Donnelly's jumped in. Blake Gallen jumped in as well. So they were the 3 that come into the pits, but it is Doug Gowan's our Series 1 champion, out in P1 now. Scott Rankin up 7 positions in P2, and Matty Gerard up 16 positions. Now, a few of them would be...
last week, 13 or something? Crazy.
Well, a few of them would be resulting because of the pit stops, but he's made a call. It may mean that he has to save a little bit to get this home, but we will keep an eye out. Looks like race control is letting those guys that are a lap down through to regain their lap back, which is great to see.
Yeah, I'll wave around. Nice, thank you very much. Big shout out to the promo department, the safety car as well. Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah, we get to talk about it tonight. Of course, our round sponsor tonight is Warren and Brown. Oh, sorry, our series sponsor, I should say. And, it is great to have them on board. It's great to have all of our sponsors on board. Of course, without sponsors, we cannot put on the SRW show and hold these leagues. And of course, what race, 5-6 nights a week. 6 nights a week we are at the moment. And as we said, guys, we are only, 5 minutes into our feature race here tonight for the TCRs. But following tonight's race, it's F3s at Knockhill's sister track, Brands Hatch. So if you've thought you've seen a tight, windy track with cars fighting for every inch of space, well, I think we might see that again following this one with the F3s.
Man, that's going to be insane. F3 Hatch. Oh, it's such a great track. It offers it's a very technical track, plus it's very flowing in spots as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how people tackle the setup in the F3s for Brands Hatch as well.
I'm interested here with these front 3. So, neither of them have decided to pit early on. So the rest of the field has filled up and they've got enough to get home. So the question is, do our front 3 need to save? And then the next question is, how the hell do you do that in a car that doesn't have a clutch?
Yeah, well, they can be a bit smoother and things like that.
It's just rolling out of the accelerator. I think for the most part, iRacing works. It's fuel calculations based on 100% throttle. So maybe rolling out of the throttle a bit earlier will help, but that's going to compromise speed. And then when you're in a battle, and we might find here that Scott Rankin sitting in P2,
in perfect
Matty Gerard in P3, they might be happy to stay there because they save an extra few sort of halves or tenths or hundredths of litres while you're in that draft.
Oh, 100%. That's the difference between, because they're only doing between 700 mils and 800 mils per lap in these things. So which is crazy for the viewers out there, which sounds like a really tiny amount of fuel.
Yeah, but that only what that tells me, Toddy, is that if you're using 0.8 a lap or 800 mils a lap, if you can do 8 laps at 700 mils or 10 laps at 700 mils,
you know,
yeah, that's an extra lap.
Doing the Elantra, and I was
But
like,
that's an
that's
extra. You can do that for 10 laps. It's an extra lap.
Straight
Is that
up,
what these guys need to do?
I think that's
Is
what
it
it is.
that close?
I think
Is it
Scotty
that-
Rackett picked his spot perfectly, and Matty Dorada are in perfect spots now. Just stay in that draft. Just be patient for now, I reckon. Fend off,
All
make
right.
the elbows wide, but just stay there and just use Doug's forcing the air away from you, and then Doug's going to use all his shield and a lot of his tyres, and they might be able to get the clutch here. One of them might be able to get the clutch anyway.
Well, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Like, we can see here, you know, they're all the field bunched up, so we're going to have back to close action. Okay, race control is advising we will do another lap under the safety car, so that means that, you know, this safety car has probably taken 4 or 5 minutes out of the race. Is that enough for this window? If it is, well, it seems that Doug, Scott and Matty have all played a pretty genius strategy game, because they've got themselves to the front of the pack. And we have, I know that the current sort of series contenders, Scott Rankin and Dylan DeBono, well, there's a fair bit of cars in between those two at the moment. Scott Rankin running P2, Dylan DeBono running P16, so he's deep in the pack. Well, started in P10 with a reverse grid and then got caught up a bit there at the start. So the good thing is, though, all of these guys have had their chance to fix their cars, use that fast repair, so we shouldn't be seeing any cars with damage out there, and it'll be almost a reset for race number 2.
Yeah, it's very interesting, man. We've had a lot of movers and shakers, a lot of action already, so we've got pace car away now. Pace car away.
All right, here they go. So it's in Doug's hands. Will he go early? Will he go late? You can see here the field just bunching up. Doug's keeping him at that, was about 80 Ks, 90 Ks. Thank you for that, Rob. And we'll wait to see if any penalties are issued following the shenanigans. But here they go, and looks like Doug has gone straight away there, taken the run. Scotty read that pretty good. Actually, I think 3 of those guys behind read that pretty good. We can see, is that Matty King making a move up the inside? Matty Gerard, can he get it done? No, he's had to pull out. Oh no, I had a flashback from last night there, Toddy, when I saw that. That's what got me into trouble.
Cold sweat, instant cold sweat. Oh, we got Greg Leach on the outside.
That's Matty King that's gone off as well, is it? No?
No, that was Greg Leach that's gone off there as well, and then he's just almost hit Donnelly on the way back in, but
I think that might have been Joshua Melton.
Again, being patient.
Oh no, and that's Stephanie requesting to tow. So there's been massive contact at the back there.
Oh, she's off.
And the safety car is coming back out. So wow, can we go back and have a look and see what happened there, please, Mr. Saint? Your halo will have to shine bright here as we see what's happened. All right, so we're looking at Stephanie. She's gone deep and just lost the rear of the car. All right, and she got stuck in the wall here. Oh no, just the way it's hit the car, she's got no drive. That the front left is damaged, and you can see there she's got no drive. It's just bogging. Yeah, look at that.
Very easy. They like they take a beating, but the suspension gets broken and the axles get broken and these things.
Oh, yeah, especially with the wheel that's got drive. So we also had a couple other moves. I just think it's rather amusing that, again, up on SD Key, the safety car has shown as crashed again. I think Tyson McAvoy might have had a moment there as well, buddy. Jake Edwards with a moment. So a couple other things we can try and have a look at if we can.
So we got the Velocity Sim boys in 1-2 now. We got Dylan DeBono. It's been sent off the other side.
So Scott Rankin, what happened to Scotty? He must have lost out then as well. So, okay, so this is what's happened to Tyson McAvoy. And that's a rejoin there in front. That's what's caused things here? No? Gone into the pits. Tyson's tried to follow him and, oh no! Oh,
no.
what's happened there? So
It's
has he
stuck in the
been too
wall.
up behind and didn't see it, or didn't realise he was going into the pits? Well, that is rather interesting.
It almost looked like he was like, I'm going to go into the pits. No, I'm not going to go into the pits. Actually, I need to go into the pits. And then went, oh,
Right.
I'm not far enough in.
Now, what happened with Matty Gerard and Scott Rankin? Because there's a pass there. There is Matty Gerard that made a pass on Scott Rankin. That must have been just before the safety car was called. So what's happened here? Oh, Scotty's gone in. Scotty's gone in deep and had to avoid. He almost ran up the rear of Doug Gowans there. So yeah, he's had to brake. And look, that's pretty smart driving to realise that Matty was up the inside, because they're the moments that you panic when you're locking wheels. So that's some good driving there by Scotty. The rattle gun, well, it's going to have to fire, buddy. You've still got a bit of distance ahead of your rival at the moment. Dylan is sitting back in P11, but
Be interesting.
Two
Matty
of his
Keane on the back of him as well, putting pressure on.
well, there's two of his teammates in front of him now. That's the problem. So, we've talked about it before that Scotty's almost a one-man army, or one man up against an army, with his main rival Dylan DeBono, and then you look and you see Doug Gowans, our season 1 winner, and Matty Gerard, Dylan DeBono's teammate, sitting in front of Scotty now. So there could be a few more sort of team tactics to come before this race is finished, Bunny.
Yeah, I know that, but we all know how much Scotty Rankin loves being in the weeds. He loves being there. He loves being the underdog. So it might actually play into his favour, because everyone's thinking about their teammates and they're talking to their teammates, etc., etc. They might just make some little mistakes and he just files his way through like he kind of magically does a lot of the time.
We know Scotty is up for the battle, so he will take it as much as he can. In the end, I think that's the best thing about sim racing, is that you can get together and meet some great mates and just battle out on track. It gets heated at times, but I think after the race, we're not breaking each other's cars. We're not costing each other thousands of dollars. With an incident in a sim. So in the end, we can kiss and make up, I suppose, and get ready for the next race.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the beauty of the community as well. And we all got each other's back and stuff. But, you all realise when you get a bit heated at things, everybody realises it's just because we're all just as passionate as each other, really. So. Well,
that's right. I mean, look, I say I'm here for the battles, but, you put me in P1 and I'm going to try and win that race. So, and here we go.
Even not too right. Here we go with the jump by Doug Gowans. Absolute lightning stuff. Absolute lightning start also out on the outside.
That game. Not the move by Scotty there. Look at that. That was games. I'm sure that was Matty Gerard. Oh, a bit of contact there. That's going to be interesting. Will that get called out?
Squeezed to the outside.
It's on. It's on. But I would not be surprised. Well, I would not be surprised that might have been Matty Gerard just trying to run a little bit of cover for Doug. Let Doug get a jump on him. And Scotty saw that. And he battled hard. And look at this. He's put the car in great position. Look at that. Oh, running each other. That's some pretty fair racing there between Scotty and Matty. And look at this. That's Tyson Styles trying to get in on the action. Three wide into T1. No, don't go there, boys. It did not work last night. I can tell you from experience it does not work.
And we can definitely see Tyson Styles is trying to do what he did last time. This is how he got up in the first race. He's just sitting on the back of this guy, and then picked him off on the way.
That was Matty Gerard with a bit of instability. Is that Scotty looking to go up the inside? He's going to speed him wide out into the dirt. Oh, a little bump
from this.
Tyson, stop. The run. Matty Keane has been issued a drive-through penalty for contact. Oh, there's no
There was no contact there, but look at that. That was.
You think that might have been net code? Oh, the way that car stepped out, it might have been net code. Matty Gerard's on the radio, so...
Locked it out on the inside. You can see a bit of grass on his left rear. Oh,
Matty
what
Gerard-
oh, Scotty Rankin's got it too! Jumped it over the...
Oh! And he put it into the fire barriers.
He's just waiting there to pounce.
Oh, where's he rejoin? Where does Scotty Rankin rejoin? He rejoins in P13, and it's now completely reversed from where it was before. Oh, I think he might have damaged the front of that car. It doesn't look like it was
He's broken suspension there. He's broken an axle. Yeah, that is not.
That's going to be a tow.
Yeah, that front right is completely broken. That suspension is completely gone. Yeah, as we were saying earlier, man, the front of these.
You called two, Toddy. Called two.
Yeah.
You did try to hedge your bets and include the F3s in on that. So I don't know if your bet's still going to stand. But
I meant just for these. But,
we've had two safety cars, and I think we're going to have another one now.
Yeah, I never win this. I don't think I've ever nailed it, to be honest.
Yep, there it is. Called by race control. And Dylan DeBono maybe just got that pace done.
Oh wow!
I know. We'll have to see what race control's got to say about that. But it was against his teammate Matty Gerard, so. Alright, wow. Now, I do apologise. I thought this was a 40-minute feature. It's actually only a 30-minute feature for this race tonight. We are inside the last 10 minutes, and we're going to have another safety car bunching the field all the way back up again.
So we have Husey out in the promo department safety car and the Beamer out there tonight. So it's nice to see a non-Hyundai.
That is a massive flip to what was looking like the championship, how the championship ladder was going to look. We had, Scott Rankin with about 8 or 9 positions on Dylan DeBono, so that's P2 and 1 in the championship after round 1, and now it's completely reversed. Dylan DeBono back up in 4th position. Scott Rankin, well, he's going to be a lap down, having to tow the pits, and that's going to be... Wow.
The winner of our series last year.
Yep, certainly was.
First again. And we got, Cuzzy, Tumeki. We got old mate with the Jandal in 3rd.
Tyson Styles really handled that restart really well. He positioned his car perfectly, and he took advantage when there was a little bit of contact or a net code there that unsettled those cars, and then Scotty launching the rear there, going down through T1 and 2. So that has completely shaken up the leaderboard. We can see here now the cars all keeping over the left to let is that Joshua and Tyrone and probably Stephanie through to get their lap back. Here it is. So this is what's happened to Scott. He's caught that inside curb.
Wow,
and then the rear's just gone on him. Yeah.
That was all 4 guys off the deck there.
All right, he's tried to power through that, but there's no way. Look at how hard that car hit.
He was full gas in the air, and then it's just, oh, wow.
Oh, that full commitment, and as we said before, Toddy, love seeing it because it's shown that these guys are really driving hard, and that's what we want to see, good hard battles, and, all right, so...
I'm Team Max, by the way. I think I'm rooting for Max. I'd see a Kiwi keep his podium, or maybe if he's on the top of the podium. Yeah, what just happened there? Did someone just dropped out of the sky? Tyson Styles what happened there? Did he stop, or did he just jump up in the air and then just drop down? Oh, who knows?
I'm not sure, but he looks like he's letting the entire field through. That might be a technical failure. He's moving slow, like something's happened to his gear.
Oh no!
Is he blowing up the car?
Is he just blowing up a gearbox?
He's blowing it up. Oh no! He's having a great run in P2.
He didn't do though with these things.
Oh no!
Oh, no!
Oh, that is unbelievable.
There was a puff of smoke there, so maybe he's blowing his gearbox or transmission or something.
Wow. I was going to see if I could see him in the chat there. And oh, there it is. Yeah.
Oh. And then
Did
black smoke,
Dylan-
that's never a good thing.
Dylan's
Black smoke.
disappeared. Is that? He's
Yeah,
hit him.
smashed into
Yeah,
it,
look at
yeah.
it.
Oh, that's definitely broken the back of that car.
And what's happened to Dylan? Dylan's disappeared off the screen. Is he back in there?
No, he's not.
No, he's not showing in
No,
the
he's
order.
in third. He's in third still.
Okay, so he's showing back in the order. So that is something really, really strange there.
Wow, that was weird.
Because they were already going slow behind the safety car. I can't see why he'd be accelerating that fast. That's a very weird glitch.
Yeah, very strange. Be interesting to see what actually
All
happened.
right.
Oh, wait.
So
Oh, P2, Max, Team Max. Come on,
all
Max.
right.
team.
Well,
Big
this
car, go.
is
Let's
going to
go,
be
go
interesting. We are down to
Good
about
coverage,
6.5 minutes left, and the safety car is still out on track. So it's going to be a jam-packed finish to our round 2 for the TCRs here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. This is the national layout, so a little bit short.
Oh, got it off again.
Out on the grass with a little moment there again.
Oh, he might get a drive-through for that because he was coming out of the pits, right? Oh, he would have gone over the line, right?
All right, so
Oh, no, he wasn't coming out of the pits. Apologies. That's weird.
okay,
Is he
so
having some
race
hardware
control
issues?
is trying to deal with things that are going on at the moment.
Oh, it looks like he's got to have some hardware issues there. Because it kind of glitched halfway when he was turning right, and then he went to turn. Yeah, he turned left and then turned right. It kind of glitched.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. So it looks like something's happening with Dylan DeBona. He's been asked to sort of pull over to the side and tow. So we don't know what's happened there. That's really interesting. We might have to try and see what.
Maybe it's a whole race control in the netcode, and he was jumping up and down and stuff. Maybe.
Oh, I'm not sure because all of that happened under safety car. So here we go. That Tyson letting him back through. All right. So is that we are racing? Are we? Yeah, we are racing. So safety car has pulled away. Doug Gowans is right under pressure. Max Donnelly sees his chance, and he is pushing hard here. You can see the third Velocity Sim Labs machine. Matty Girardi's trying to put pressure on Max, maybe buy a bit of breathing room for his teammate Doug. Oh, just a little bit of a jink there. I think Max had and lost a little bit of ground. Matthew Girard, it's a big dive. No, he's come out of it.
Oh, Max
These
is
boys
trying to battle that
hard
carry
here.
under massive pressure.
And they're going to bring Mark Cochran into it this way as well. So look at Mark getting a run on Matty Girard as well now. And Matty's had to move inside and cover that. You can see that. I had to do a bit of that to myself last night. So definitely one of the things you can do if you think someone's getting a run on you, maybe you can make that one defensive move. Don't do it in the braking zone, but if you make it early enough, you can, you know.
McAvoy.
Oh, look at that Audi bouncing. He's got that kind of history.
Absolutely pushing that that Audi. So we've actually got two Audis in the top 5. Nice to break up the youngers.
Oh, that's a great run. It's that Greg Leak with an awesome run. So Leakey's been able to recover somewhat from his calamity at the start. He's running P8 now. Is that up the inside of Jake Edwards? So, sorry, that was Andrew Proctor. So Jake Edwards was a great move on Andrew Proctor, and he opened the door for Leakey. But look at this, Matty Keane taking advantage as well. It's 4 wide. Scotty Rankin on the back of this battle as well. Leakey trying to hold a spot there on the outside. Good stuff. Look at this, and turn in, and yeah. So Matty Keane's had to get out of that.
Still on replay, brother.
Oh, we are still on the replay, buddy. We better jump to live. Okay, well, there we are. So what was showing there, the timing bar was showing replay and not instead of itself. But anyway, looking at it here, it is Doug Gowans leading Max Donnelly in P2 and Matty Girard P3. Mark Cochran has just dropped off the back of that battle. Look at this run here. Matty Keane with a massive run on Greg Leak. This is for P7.
Massive swing down the straight.
Saw these boys battling hard last lap, and Leakey was able to keep you back there last lap. but Matty's got that run and got the job done. I can see Scotty Rankin in the back there putting pressure on, is that Andrew Proctor? Yeah. Fitzy there as well, so...
Be interesting to see how many spots Scotty Rankin can put the pressure on now at the back of the
problem is he can't, mate. He's a lap down, so although he's battling with these boys here, it's not for position on track.
Yeah, he's just having a bit of fun now, isn't he? But Matty Gerard, Max Donnelly still putting his elbows out in this very impressive drive, this Kiwi, in this Audi. And we know this Audi hates the curbs. He's staying off them a lot more than the Hyundais, and it's having to be a lot more smooth. So it's great to see an Audi out there and two Audis in the top 5. Your team boss out there, Cowy, number 5 up positions as well.
I think one of our new teammates, Travis, is spotting for Tyson tonight. So I'm sure he's letting him know what's going on around him, because it's been fairly chaotic these last 10 minutes. Yeah. Well, we are inside the last minute of this motor race, so maybe one more lap to go. So let's keep an eye on the front here. It is white flag, Barney waving it there. Tyson McAvoy hard on the back of a Cochrane here at the moment. Mark is driving well. Oh, who's this? Is that Clark trying to go over on the outside?
Max just putting his elbows out, coming down through the dip. Oh, using all that tyre, all that track, all to his advantage. Is he going to be able to make the stick, Matty Gerard? What do you reckon, Cowy?
Well, it's the last lap, buddy, so it's all on. We saw Ty Delaney try a big move at the hairpin last night. And is that...
Traffic working and Max's...
Gerard trying to get up the inside there, but it is going to be Doug Gowans for Velocity Simlabs taking out race number 2, and it's Max Donnelly finishing just ahead of Matty Gerard, and that's a great battle for the podium positions there tonight. Tyson McAvoy with a great drive, bringing it up into P4. Jake Edwards with a consistent drive for P5 as well. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to try and have a quick look at who's going to be our round result for tonight. I don't know if we had anyone behind the scenes looking into it.
Oh, mate, what a race. That was awesome. So we had the 3, so I lost out. We were both wrong about safety cars, but we thought they'd have enough runoff. But just an absolutely amazing drive from Max and both from Tyson. Especially in the Audi, hard been around this track, so brilliant. Wow. And Doug Gowans, our series winner from last season, our season winner for last season, our champion, our reigning champion, got the win tonight. What a legend!
I have no idea how we're going to work out the round results for tonight. There are the feature results up on screen. So it is Doug Gowans for Velocity Simlab taking out our feature race ahead of Max Donnelly. Matthew Gerard for P3, Tyson McAvoy for Performance Sim Racing's P4, and Jake Edwards for Crisscross Racing bringing out the top 5. And it was some great racing all the way down. Greg Leake with another top 10 finish. Matty Keane right in the mix as well, and gotta say, mate, if that was a washing machine mix, that race, 3 safety cars, and changes everywhere, buddy.
Oh yeah, massive changes, and we've seen Della De Bono had bad luck again this week, so it's really gonna make the pointy end of the season a lot harder as we go through the rounds as well. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see. How these guys, and especially these really quick guys, tackle, the next couple of weeks to try and get their points back, because let's really put a spanner in the works, a lot of spanners and a lot of works this week, and last week did too, mind you. So,
all right. If Matty Gerard wants to bring him into the green room, that would be great as well. All right. Well, I think we've got to bring in our feature winner, Doug, to start off with. Actually, what we might try and do is get in Matty Gerard with our P3. So I'm sure that it's going to change things around. Sprint round is always a bit difficult to work out who who's doing. But let's bring in Matty Gerard. Well, Matty Gerard P3 for the feature, buddy. You had to make up a fair few places though, so I don't know how you're feeling the overall, mate. But what a chaotic finish to that race.
Oh, mate, that was good fun. I nearly had, is it Max? I think it was. He came second.
Yep.
I nearly had him a couple of times there, but no, it's a difficult track to pass on, eh? So you've got to wait for the other guy to make a mistake and try capitalise on it. And yeah, hey, that's how I managed to get all the way up from, I think, last place into third there for that race because, well, everyone else crashed. Make my life easy.
Oh, no, well, look, mate, well, I was looking at one of those restarts and thinking maybe you were running a bit of shotgun for Doug there. That was when Scotty was behind you. Was that the case?
Nah, not at all. I was just slower than Scotty. Simple as that. And then I just had to fight and try and defend as best I could to try and keep my place. He got past me. We tangled with each other a couple of times there, which was all good and fair, a bit of door banging, nothing wrong with that. And then just the last corner pushed me wide, and then sadly he had his big off track as well. So bad luck for him. But I mean he's quick and he deserved to be up the front there, battling Doug compared to me. So hey, it is what it is. That's racing, right?
Well, we've seen the tow be effective in these cars. I don't think this lap was probably quite long enough for the tow to be a massive factor, but just so hard to pass, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. There was really maybe two places that you could pass if you had a good run on someone, but when you're right up front, everyone's got a good lap going, so you've just got to wait for that mistake to happen. That's basically all there is to it.
Well, Matty, you've put the Velocity SimLab machine back up the front. Our previous, you've had a great run. The team's going gunbusters, buddy. So do you want to thank it all, or do you want me to wait until I bring Doug in?
Oh, shit, I might leave it for Doug, actually.
All right, buddy. Well, let us bring in Max Donnelly into... we'll leave you in here, Matty. We've just brought Max in to the chat as well. P2 in the feature race tonight, Matty. I know you were... Max, sorry, I apologise. You're up 11 spots, so I don't know how you're going to feature in the overall, but how was that race, buddy? You were right in the thick of it at the end.
Oh, exactly. I mean, Knockhill is a track. I absolutely love it, but it's a track where you can make absolutely no mistakes. And certainly I did make a couple tonight, but in the feature, it sort of all came together. And I was actually really proud with the podium. So, yeah, it was good fun.
Well, you were sitting in behind that Scotty Rankin, Doug Gowan, Matty Gerard battle going on in front of you. Were you licking your lips just waiting for it? Could you see it coming?
Oh, I could see it coming, definitely, but then the white flag came out, and it was like, oh, I better hold on to the podium at least.
Okay, well, it's definitely one of those tracks where you got to send it really to make an impact. Were you driving in your mirrors, or was it just looking straight ahead and hoping no one tagged you?
Mainly it was just looking straight ahead, and when I also the off brake in the straights, then I'd just look at the gaps and just see where I am.
Well, Max, I don't know if I've got your team details, but I can see there's some interesting paints on the car, so you better let us know who's supporting you tonight, mate, and who's giving you all that great backing.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to thanks to the New Zealand sim racing team, team owner Brayton, and our teammates Caden, Dylan, and Cole. They've been massive support and behind the series, and I'm hoping that this will interest them to hopefully race either later in the season or maybe next season.
Awesome, buddy. Well, also make sure you download the SDK driver app and update those details in there. You got to run it when you're in the car. But if you run that app, man, you can update it and we'll have it all there so that we don't get it wrong for you next time you're on the podium.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Max. Well, we will leave you in the room for the moment.
Max, good work. Good work, bro. Kia kaha, cuz.
Thank you very much, bro.
Yeah, good, bro.
Oh, God. No push and chips, boys. No push and chips, boys, or plankton. Come on.
Nah, bro. Pass that, bro. Nah, man, he wasn't parched as. He was smart tonight and very well done. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, I've brought in our feature race winner, Doug Gowans. Doug, some pretty crazy shenanigans going on the end there, but it was all behind you in the mirror, mate.
Oh,
Did you
that
look
was
at it?
it was no, not yet. No, I've got to jump straight into the F3 race now.
I meant the mirror. I meant
Oh,
the
the
mirror.
mirror in the mirror at Knockhill. You want to look in the mirror? No. But that's just a crazy track, and what a crazy race that was. Though, you know, I mean, I don't know if you were listening to Discord, but you know, it was going off. I tell you right now.
Well, mate, crazy. I did ask the question of Matty, was he running shotgun for you there on one of those restarts?
Yep.
When Scotty Ranger was in the battle. He reckons no, but no, was there any team orders there? Did he do his job?
Oh, I suppose he done his job a little bit, but no, certainly no team orders or anything like that. Just like the previous restart, you know, I got a really good jump on Scotty then, and same just happened then. So.
Oh, well, it is, mate. Well, you know, you found yourself back near the front. That early chaos as well. How the hell did you get through all of that?
Very carefully. I've got to say, it's a track that I enjoy, but man, it's a hard track to pass and to do so safely. So, you know, I knew I had my work cut out for me in that first race after being spun on the first lap, first corner. But yeah, I was still quite happy to come back through the field. And then I got a great start in the second race. And yeah, and then I was able to be in front of all the mayhem that was happening behind.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to give you a chance to spruik those Velocity SimLab sponsors. And then Max and Matthew, I'm going to ask you guys the same question. But first, Doug, let us know who's supporting your team. We keep hearing it every week, mate, but you guys keep putting it up front, then you deserve the right to spruik them.
Well, that's right. You know, we do put the effort in, and you know, we do, you know, hop on and do some practice and make sure that we've got the track up to scratch. But yeah, in regards to sponsors, Steve from Velocity SimLab, YouTube Here to Race, Speed House, Digital Design, Pedders. Yeah, I mean, it's always great to have those type of guys behind you.
Awesome, buddy. Well, congratulations on another great race, mate. Found yourself at the front and you were able to control it. And as you said, just ignored that thing that hangs on the front of the car. What do they call it? A mirror again? Just ignore it?
Yeah, I certainly had to. I think I told you that don't expect anyone to have a 0x, but that last race I did. So I'm quite chuffed about that.
Awesome, buddy.
All right, guys. Thanks again. Appreciate your effort.
All right. Well, excellent work, Doug, and congratulations on the feature result. Of course, at the moment, we're sorry, guys. There's a fair bit of chaos going on there between the two races, so we're not sure how the actual full round results will determine. But
that'll take a while.
I'm sure it'll all sort of level its out when the ash falls from the bomb that hit us tonight in the TCRs. But on the next question, I was back to that question, Matthew and Max, guys. Were you watching in your mirrors? Were you looking forward? Matty, was it definitely a watching forward race or a mirror watching race?
Oh, look, there was a bit of mirror watching, I won't lie.
It looked like it. There was a couple of missed breaking points at spots.
Exactly, yeah. I had to apologise to Max on one corner there because I just missed it and I was sort of yelling at myself, you know, shit.
And Max, you would agree, buddy?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Knockhill was a track, you know, again, no mistakes. So as soon as you take your eyes off and you look in the mirror, you know, you've got very little time to react to the next corner. So
the same as next week as well. Phillip Island's going to be very much the same. How are you guys going to use a very similar setup? But you know, guys got to take a bit of wing off next week, hey, and just kind of hope and wish for the best, right? At Phillip Island and these things.
I love Phillip Island in this car, so this is going to be interesting next week.
Well, I know it's a favourite of many of our drivers here. One of those Aussie tracks. It's been POM or the English tracks the first two rounds, so it'd be good to get on some home soil. But wish you guys all the best. Thank you very much to our feature podium. You'll have to stay tuned to see what the actual full round results are. But guys, this is SRW TV. That has been our TCR round 2 here at Knockhill, our sprint round format. We will take a short break and then we will be back with our F3s when they take on Brands Hatch.
Guys.
Cheers, boys.
You let me know. Oh, good evening, sim racing fans. Welcome back to SRW TV. It's Formula 3 time. Brands Hatch. It is the Ashes. British and Aussie tracks coming our way all season. We are at Brands Hatch tonight. Can it take the power of 30 plus F3 cars out there? We'll have to see how these guys can manufacture passes on a fairly tight, tricky track. So it's all for show tonight with a big 60-minute race. I once again have the Pixie Connor Nixon with me in the broadcast booth. It's still Rob Saint Painter behind the scenes as well. Welcome, Connor. Glad to have you back for another run at the F3s, buddy. Big field.
Yeah, mate. It's good to be here. Brands Hatch, one of my favourites. Definitely in one of these things. It's electrifying. So it's good to be back with you, Kerry. And yeah, it's going to be good racing tonight.
I think I've done a bit of some Pro Mazda racing here. About the only open wheel I've done here at Brands Hatch, and that was pretty tricky. So, again, you know, the thing we always talk about the F3s is they're a car that breaks if you look at them funny. So I didn't think we were going to see a safety car in the TCRs tonight, and we saw 3. So, you reckon we're going to see safety cars here tonight, buddy?
If the guys have their heads on tonight, I definitely think these guys will be all good. The racing that's came out of this track is just, you know, over the last 20 years plus. Yeah, if they keep their heads on, I think they'll be fine. If there's a couple of guys that make a few dive bombs, doesn't work, there is going to be bits and pieces flying everywhere. But we'll see what happens tonight. But I mean, if we're talking reasonable, I reckon there probably will be one safety car. Sounds about right. So yeah, we'll go with one.
We'll go with one. All right. I'm going to call 2. I was completely off the mark for race number 1. Now we are already a few minutes into qualies, guys. Sorry, running a bit over with our interviews there for the TCRs. But it's F3s, and Connor, I've been getting a bit of dirt for tonight, so a few of the guys reaching out. Apparently the JWM boys, they were flat out winning the Daytona 24 on the weekend, so they reckon there hasn't been a lot of practice in the JWM garage this week, so I'll have to see if those guys are on the pace. I know that J-Mac also, he had a shout out to say that he's had 0 practice as well, so he will likely start from the pit lane so that he doesn't get in anyone's way. I was asking the boys about, you know, will they need, with a tight track like this, do you need to put a lot of pressure on the car in front of you to maybe force a mistake? We just saw Steven Sigovich running wide there. And the Kittens boss, Adrian Loretti, he came back and reckons that there'll be plenty of grass mowing out there tonight. And Murphy, well, he thinks that the action's going to actually happen in the pits, because when it's a pretty tight track like this, any advantage you can get in the pit lane is just gold out on track.
That's it. And it looks like a lot of people will be on track. You know, being still quick though. Michael Cuttajar right up the top in P1 doing really well. We're actually on board with himself, I think that is. And mate, he's absolutely flying. And he's but the one thing with Cuttajar, we've seen him in the SRH, and it looks like he's just grabbed hold of this thing very quickly, and he's P1, so well done to Cuttajar. Right on board with him for a bit, and I'll go down the old timing sheet here. Ryan Hawley, we saw him absolutely put a great result in last race. He was absolute, P2. What a great result for him. And that would be really good to see him. If you can get a win tonight, that would be absolutely amazing. But David Gallo actually just went up to P1, and Phil just went up to P1. So it's actually changing. So Phil's up top now, but we'll stay. Jump off someone else now, but yeah, just riding on board. That was an absolute action shot there. But yeah, Michael Cuttajar down to P3 now. But yeah, Phil's on. We're on board with him now, and yeah, he's in P1. He's absolutely rapid. We saw them last week with the new team and DFR, and it's good to see him.
Well, David Gallo run P2 with that good lap. I've got a bit of Kitten's dirt, so the claws are out. Guys, give me a bit of info as well. So now Darren Fahey may not be racing tonight. We'll have to see. He's on track. He's 27th at the moment, but I hear he's in a bit of pain because he went rollerblading with his daughter on the weekend and forgot how old he is. And he might have pulled a muscle or two. So, and if it was rollerblading, I'm gathering it's going to be those inside leg muscles, and they would be sore. I'm wincing just thinking about it. Now, but David Gallo, now there's a bit of a dark horse here that apparently is the kitten to watch tonight because he's put in a lot of practice here, heap of laps, so if he can keep it clean, he might be right on the money, and I think that pace already shows that, buddy.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
The other big bit of Kitten's information is that apparently Daniel and Andrew have recently upgraded their pedals to the same one Adrian's got. So Adrian did the pedal upgrade last season and ended up, topping the team list. And looks like a couple of the others have, jumping on board to go that pedal upgrade. And apparently it's only Darren who's the last kitten left in the Stone Age.
Yeah, seems like it. But we just saw Doug with a purple sector. Doug Gowan did a really nice middle sector. I just saw on the timing there. There's actually someone down the bottom there lighting it up as well. It's just green sector after green sector. Everyone's beating their lap times right now. Track could be going a bit cooler, but the rubber would be going down the track right now, and that's what everyone would be looking for, that ideal racing line. You kind of know where everyone's putting the car, so that's where all the grip will be. And it's such a small little track. The line's pretty easy to spot, but it looks like everyone's... Oh, and there's a little crash there. Talking about those boys before.
Like Delaney, by the looks of that.
Oh, so, good to see Blake in here.
Yeah, great to see another fishy car out there. Adam Simpson, I've been talking to Adam when the rest of the piranhas are going to jump onto this series. So great to see that he's dragged Blake in. And I know Adam loves driving open wheelers. He's one of those guys that you look at his I rating and you go, what, he's only got 1K I rating. No, he races just about every car he can think of, and he's not worried about his I rating 1 iota. So, up hundreds and down hundreds in a week.
Yeah, I was commentating Adam Simpson in the V8s last week with Vance, so he does very well in those as well, so that'd be good to see him back in that on Friday with Split 2, but we're on board with him now, one of the fishies. The purple livery, we've seen him run for the last couple of seasons. All the boys did get a bit of an upgrade on their liveries, so not an upgrade for the F3 livery, so if the boss man's watching, I reckon you should do a bit of an upgrade livery. So we can actually see Chris Mitchell's logo on here too. So like I said last week, good mate of mine, so yeah, good on you, Chris.
Well, Phil Bell and Michael Cartajar, those two have now jumped into the 115s. A 115.81 for Phil Vella, a 115.82 for Michael Cartajar. So, and then for 115.92 for David Gallo as well. So we're talking 100th of a second from first to second, and then 1/10 of a second from second to third. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's good to see all the time's been nice and snappy and quick, but everyone's nice and close, which I'd hate to be out on track because you're trying to find every mill out there, and when it comes down to thousands, it's definitely not on your side.
Look further down, man. Look further down.
Off the track there, in the background there.
Matthew Pignata in P4, and he's 800ths off David Gallo in third, right? Jay Dixon is 100th off Matthew Pignata in fifth.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Ron Houlihan is 300ths of Jay in fifth, right? And then we go back another 200ths to Daniel Hunter. So you've got 4 cars there, all within 600ths of a second of each other. And then add another one, it's, what's that? 1400ths of a second.
There.
Add another one, it's 2300ths of a second. It's less than half a second to 9th.
Yeah,
and just over half a second to 10th. That's crazy.
We just saw Trill Dooley off the track there, just in the wall, so he'll have to go and get his car fixed there. We're on board with Adrian Simpson. Not Adrian Simpson, Loretti.
And Darren Hay, actually.
Hey, I've got it wrong twice. Darren Fahey.
good.
I'm used to seeing Loretti drive the car, but obviously
It's actually something's gone on with the timing again there, Sainted. It's showing as replay, not the timing tower, buddy. So you might want to try and have a look at that if you can. Yeah, it's all fixed. There we go. We see a few comments up on the chat there. So J-Mac reckons there's going to be 4 safety cars. Andrew Johnson, DFR for the win. We know your support there. JWM is not on the pace, more likely on the grass from Uncle Hutto, lawn mowing specialists. Okay, fair enough. Or sponsors, I should say. All right, well, they did have a great run with the Daytona 24-hour, one of the split winners. So congrats there, boys. But yeah, maybe you might pay the price of that tonight with very little practice.
You know what a split of what car?
I'm not sure, buddy. How'd you have a run in it? How'd you go yourself, Connor?
Well, probably shouldn't talk about it for too long. we participated in it. Yeah, we did well. But yeah, enough about my team. Not in talking about team.
Good, buddy. All good, buddy.
Yeah, so it's one of the boys here, JWM, someone off the track there too, up in quite far up there as well.
Well, look, it's 0.2 of a second from 1st to 7th. It's half a second goes back to 11th at the moment, and we're seeing that the pace up front is crazy, and it's really just a tiny bit of a difference between the guys that have been able to dial it in to find that extra 10th or 2, and yourself, Connor, that's always the hardest 10ths to find is the last one.
Yeah, definitely, and there's actually a really nice shot here from Rob here, but we'll move back to one of the kitten cars. Not a bad quality at all, but like Cowy was saying, Phil up top right now, just really, he's been one of those dominant ones. He's came into it with a sledgehammer almost, just come into it.
That's right, coming into the season, took it out last round. Sorry.
And
first performance P1, so, and right to the front for race number 2. So yeah. There looks like the DFR boys are going to be a dominant force this season. We'll have to see how it pans out.
That's it. And we're on with the boss man. We've talked about him all week, it feels like, but back on board with him. Let's see if we can get a clean lap in. Mr. Spinovich is his nickname, but he looks like he's putting a pretty good lap in here. So we're going to stay on board with him, and look how tight it is as a fan, or if you're a wife, a hubby, or whoever. I almost go into those, go into their bedrooms and just watch them, how much steering input they're putting in, how much brake pressure they're putting in, because it's not easy driving around this track. We've driven it, everything around this track, and it's such a hard, twisty little track. But Steve's just got to pull over here and reset the pits and go and get some more fuel. But that's qualifying over.
It's so muggy at the moment. Well, it's so muggy at the moment, Connor, that you probably need someone to towel you off if you don't have aircon on. But yeah. All right, buddy, there is our grid for our feature race tonight. It is going to be 60 minutes at Brands Hatch, and it is Phil Vella for Downforce Racing on P1. Michael Chartajar, who was our SR8 guru and quite a fast driver in the old Radical SR8, jumped to the F3s and he's put at P2. David Gallo, the Kitten's dark horse, we are told. P3, Matthew Pignata, Alpha Venturi. I do have a bit of dirt there as well from Maddie, so I'll get into that bit as the race goes on. Jay Dixon for Downforce Racing, Brian Houlihan, another Alpha Venturi, wrapping up row 3 on the grid. Daniel Hunter for Alpha Venturi, Kittens Racing's Daniel Burns in P8, Martin Lofthouse, the first of the JWM machines, P9, and it's Adrian Loretti, the Kittens boss, in P10. Doug Gowans, coming from his win in the TCR, is putting a P11 for Velocity Sim Labs. Nathan Burney, P12 for Locked On Sim Racing. And then going down the rest of the grid, we've got Troy Dooley, Scott Bargen, Adam Simpson, Blake Delaney, Darren Fay, Steve Tonkin, Thomas Sanderson, is that Tyson McAvoy, Timothy Schmalenberg, Andrew Lydon, Nick Schmalenberg, Wallace Johnson, Michael Stevens, Michael Fowles, Michael Gerard, and Stephen Zingovich. I got it done before the start. How in the hell did I manage that, Connor?
That was impressive. That was very impressive. Well done, Cowy, there. I thought he was going to cough out dust there, but well done, Cowy. So, yeah, we'll need an ambulance a bit later, but we're going to get this rid going. Just want to say massive shout outs to all the sponsors before we go green. And there's all our track as well.
Well, that's right, it
degrees.
is. It's Warren and Brown, our series sponsor, the promo department, of course. And you better take it away, buddy, because the lights are coming on. And this is F3's round 2. We are ready to go here at Brands Hatch.
And here we go. Lights are up and they're out. They're going to go for round 2. And one of them's actually went off the track already, but Phil's going to take it down to turn 1. Cottager on the outside. Cottager might do the crisscross. Doug Gallo, they're right there behind him as well. But
he's got the inside run.
Down to turn 2. Phil's going to lead the grid. And Dave Gallo just on the outside there. Really nice move. Coming down to turn 3. Really nice there. Really, really nice from Phil.
Called Michael Cottager on the outside. Was able to run him out, I think, there. But yeah, that was Nathan Verney. I think he locked it up on the line there and the car went sideways. I think he did pretty well to recover. He's lost 10 positions, but he is still going. Who's that piling down the list? Nice. Thomas Sanderson. Something's happened to Thomas Sanderson's. John McHenry's had an issue as well. He's gone off track, so already we've had a couple rounds. Oh no.
So we've got Doug Gowan around as well. Here's a bit of a replay of Doug here in the Velocity Sim car. So we just saw him in the TCRs, and let's see what happens here.
Contact. There's a bit of...
And bang, there it is. JWM car coming around, and there's more contact there. So there'll probably be a penalty for that. Here comes another car.
So does that... Oh, we've got, looking at the timing of this, that's Troy Durley pummeling down the order as well. Nathan Verney's 16 spots down. Martin Lofthouse down 17 spots as well. So there is things going on everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, it's all happening for lap 1 and Jay Mack off the road as well. And there's Dean. So just off the road, now he's going to get bogged with the little F3, so that was our replay. Going out wide, using all the track there, all the Alpha injuries there, and Cottager trying to get a move done as well.
So far, I was going to say, so far no broken cars, though Doug Gowans has received a drive-through penalty for that contact, so you were right, buddy.
So here's another replay.
Here we go. So, he's just lost the rear. Oh no, not holding his brakes. So that could be another penalty for race control to hand out. We do know that is one they penalise quite heavily, not holding your brakes. And the safety car has been called by race control, so we can take a breath, Connor. Wow. There's a fair bit happening there, buddy.
Bit of a start. It's good to see them all getting around, but yeah, that was rough racing for lap 1. Definitely, they all got the teeth out, so you can
only win the race on lap 1. Remember
that's it, mate. That's it. So Sinkovic up 6 spots as well, and Phil's just going to get back up to safety car now. So there's Sinkovic. So let's see if he can. I feel confident, Steve, here tonight.
All right. Well, we've got a few cars there pitting. Any of our leaders pitting, maybe Nathan Burney and Troy Dooley are pitting, have pitted as well. Looks like there's a few more going in. Martin Lofthouse, Tyson McAvoy, Matty Gerard in the pits as well. Wallace Johnson and Michael Stevens are still in the pit, but I think maybe one of those had towed. Old tyres, you reckon, or cold tyres? Okay, you can't spell shimmy. That's right, I think you're exactly right, mate. Cold tyres, start of the race, everyone's bunched up. Such a tight track where you feel maybe you've got to make your moves early on, or they'll disappear off into the sunset. And it's always a bit of risk reward at the start of a race like this, and I think we've seen more risk than reward by the looks of it.
Definitely looks like that. It takes about 3 to 4 laps to get the tyre temp up, so that's what they're doing now. So they'll weave, hit the brakes to get that inside tyre temp up. But when they weave, it's to get the outside tyre temp up. So they're all going to start bunching back up.
That's one of the things, you don't really see it much in the V8s because you don't want to use any of your tyres up in the V8 supercar, so it's almost better to keep them cool rather than heat them right up. But a car like this, and the TCRs as well, we know that it takes 3 or 4 laps at peak performance for the tyres to really dial in where you can trust the grip. But look, it looks like a few of the field have pitted, so I'll have to see how that puts them in the scheme of things. But our big mover at the moment, Steve Tonkin, is up 7 positions for JWM. He's in 11th position. I think Timothy Schmalenberg, he's up 7. Andrew Lydon for Kittens Motorsport, Kittens Racing, he's up 7. Michael Fowson, he's up 9 spots. And as you said, Steven Sikovic up 8. John McHenry up 9 as well. So a few guys there taking big advantage. We've also got a bunch of guys that are up a couple of positions. So there has been a bit of shuffling of the F3 cards, and the deck is just about to get laid out again for another exciting start.
Yeah, definitely hour-long race here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Long race, so yeah, definitely getting a bit of contact straight off the bat. That would not be any good. So on board with Fishy. So this is actually Blake Delaney. Good to see him on track. Chatting to him quite a bit. Good bloke he is. Really nice guy. Really nice guy.
Oh, the Fishy boys are an awesome bunch, and we normally used to seeing them at the pointy end of these races. But the F3s have been quite a popular series here at SRW. I've watched it grow right from the first broadcast last year, and we're now sort of fielding 30 plus cars on the grid, and we've seen teams like the DFR boys and the Alpha Venturi guys come over, JWN, the Kittens boys, and we're seeing that it's not just one driver or 2 drivers. They're fielding 5, 6 cars out on track, each of these teams. So it just makes for a great spectacle. Yeah. Now, one of the things that they were telling me too, the Alpha boys are saying maybe there's a bit of rivalry there going on between the Kittens and Alpha boys, and maybe I might have heard one of them say maybe make it a little bit of a reference to the Mercedes Red Bull battle. But I didn't get a chance to ask who considers who. Right? So which one's Red Bull, which one's Mercedes? Look,
I'm not going to put my word into it because I'll get a nice colourful message. But so the safety car will come in this lap. They're all still trying to heat their tyres up. I feel for them because it takes 3 to 4 laps, and definitely with a cold track, it's definitely not nice.
We'll keep watching that for much longer. We're all going to go dizzy, I think. But race control will tell them to stop their weaving once he pulls away from the field. And Shibby reckons that they've got 60 minutes to make you move. But, oh, come on, man, you've got to win at the first corner. That's what they say, isn't it? But I suppose the other adage is, to finish first, you must finish.
I've seen you drive, Cowy. It's definitely not how they go, mate.
Oh, man. I might have tagged Ty Delaney last night trying to make a move into T1. So, I suffered the long handle of the law last night, buddy. So, it happens.
Exactly.
Oh, thanks for that. The producer commenting the very average sim racer to add my tag. Oh, we'll see how we go. But we are back with the F3s. It is about 8 minutes gone of this race, 60-minute race, and they're going live. And look at that, Phil Vella's gone straight away. And
really
he's caught Michael Nappin there a little bit, I think. And Michael's caught David Nappin. So, look at that.
Michael just needs to catch back up. It's about a second between each other now.
Michael might be close enough to stay in that tow, but you can see here now they're bunching back up. So that was another question I was going to ask you, Connor, but let's focus on the action. But I was going to ask you if you thought the tow would be important around here.
Oh, definitely.
It is a tight battle, single file at the moment, and it's all about pressuring the guy in front and see if he makes a mistake on these cold tyres.
We'll see a few of them. Can't get a mill wrong around this track. So one of the Fishy boys were on board. But here's the battle we were talking about, the rivalry. Alpha Venturi and the Kittens.
Yeah, right in the mix.
They've all got enough cars. There's definitely numbers up front. Alpha Venturi and the Kittens.
we talk about a rivalry, but I think it's more sort of a bit tongue-in-cheek than anything else. But I think the fact that we've got, 3 teams that are fielding 5-6 cars means that we are going to have these interpersonal battles. And then you've got the DFI boys that Phil Vella and Jay Dixon coming in and stealing the podium last week. So I think there might be a little bit of a rat in the barn at the moment with the DFR boys.
Definitely, and here we go. This is good. This is a good move.
Nick Schulberg is tumbling down the order. Malcolm Felson's gone off track as well. So something's happened there to Tim. I thought I heard someone on the radio as well. So it was Tyson McAvoy on the radio. So looks like it's a safety car again, is it?
So McAvoy on board now, and let's see if he goes off. And
He's carried a lot of speed there.
Off the track there, bang. Huge contact there.
I don't know if there's contact or he's carried a lot of speed and then realised as he's come up over the hill, everyone was slower in front of him, slammed on the brakes and lose the rear, maybe that way.
That would be cold tyres. He got caught out from it last week as well.
Well, look, but you can see how much more speed he's carried through there than the cars in front. And I think, mate, that might have been a reaction to kill himself rather than kill the car in front.
Oh, it could be tyre grip, who knows. So back to safety car, I think.
Wow.
So we're on safety car, sorry, we just...
Hey, Michael Falzone had a moment as well, so we're going to have a look at that and see what happened to him. So, oh no, and that would have been Nicholas Schmalenberg, because I saw Nick...
bang.
Did that wheel disappear and then appear back on? On that other car? I think it did.
Boy. Net code.
Yeah, it was a glitch, so, but wow.
So we saw Thomas trying to make a move as well. One of the opportunities.
Roll the order up again. Will we see guys jump into the pits this time? Is there enough time come out of it now where these guys can get home? I believe that the fuel limit is 50% for these cars, but I'm actually not too sure of the fuel burn. How many laps do you think you can get out of a tank around here? If you know out there in YouTube and Facebook land, please let us know, guys, and we can pass that information on to everyone.
I was going to say, I'd actually box now. Even if you're at the front, you just put more fuel in, and even that, you'll have to make a second stop. It'll just be a shorter stop. So then when everyone needs to put so and so much fuel, you'll probably have less fuel to put in, shorter stop, and you probably jump a heap of people. So I'd almost go in and just make it a bit different. Blake Delaney, I'd be one of those guys that would jump in. He's a very fast competitor.
It's one of those things. It's always a tricky situation. I mean, the general rule is if you've got track position and there's an early safety car, you generally stay out. But once you get into around lap 10, that's when, the tyres are being used a bit. There's enough fuel that's come out of the car that it might make a difference. You can put 10 laps of fuel back in the car, and that is a significant alteration to a strategy. So yeah,
a lot of guys would be fuel saving though. We're on board with John here with the Locked On Lads. These guys I remember watching their streams a long time ago. Really nice guys, good commentators too. So
he's
good to see
himself a few spots, J-Mac.
He's done well.
I think he was starting at the back tonight because he didn't want to get into anyone else's messes, and he's up 12 at the moment and finding himself in P19. So, right in the thick of things.
Yeah, definitely in the thick of it. And and we're on board with Sinkovic. Good to see him making up spots and staying on track. He's been doing really well.
Yeah, he's up 6 at the moment, so he's another mover.
Well. But yeah, so I'd box, your Blake Delaney's, or even if you're a bit further back, I'd box, change it up, because you can't make a lot of passing opportunities. There is a few, but see if anyone goes
Alright,
in.
well let's see. It looks like the leaders are staying out. So track position king for these guys. Let's keep an eye on any other few back. I mean, it's one of those things too, Connor. It's a big field. 31 cars on track or 30 cars on track? 29. So, going to the back of this pack, there's a lot of cars in front of you, and it won't take long. But if you're right at the back of the pack, it would be a short period of time before you find yourself 10, 20 seconds behind the leaders. So you're almost relying on another safety car to bunch it back up again.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, it's always one of those strategies. I mean, there's a lot of Alpha Venturis there as well. You know, I'd almost.
I love talking tactics, mate. Yeah, love talking tactics. This is exactly the thing. I mean, it's risk versus reward. Apparently, the ABR boys were talking about a one-stop in the middle as the ideal strategy, but they weren't sure with safety car 10 minutes in.
I would actually. Yeah, I was going to say, I'd almost go a bit longer, because it's being in the middle.
You're sitting on both sides of the fence now, Connor. You said you'd pit, and now you're saying you might go long. I think a few of the guys
out there. Though, if you didn't have if you had enough fuel to go a bit longer, get a bit of fresh air, no safety cars, that would be ideal, right? If you got the fresh air, get the gap, go in. If there's safety cars like it is now, I'd box, to be honest.
Well, Ryan Green out in the chat there in YouTube, he reckons that your fuel save.
Yep.
Wait and see.
That's another one.
Do another 2 or 3 safety cars, bring that into a one-stop or a zero-stop window. I mean, we're already 15 minutes into this race and only 8 laps down. So, you know, that's got to shorten these stints quite a fair bit already. So I love thinking this stuff, buddy, because it's, you know, those permutations in your head. I know last week at Donington I was sort of dead set on fuel saving, and I did it on the Tuesday night. It worked okay, but on the Friday night the Sunday night the pace was too much, and you couldn't. So
strategy on Sunday was just to push and go a bit longer, but we'll see the safety car pull out.
Oh, look, he's gone early again, Phil, is he? No, he can't go that early.
He's just gapping so the field can go on the straight. Yep. So he's trying to be fair about it, and that's really nice of the field. It's really good to see. So let's see if he goes. Cuttajar.
He goes, he's got control of the field, and he's gone straight away again. Cuttajar's read that a bit better this time, I think. But I think David Gallo maybe, you know, wasn't on the money, and look, he's got Jay Dixon right on the back of him now. Pressure, can Jay go around the outside, down into T1? That's a bold move, Connor.
Definitely bold move, but Cuttajar doing really well there as well.
Let's have a look at that battle for P3 at the moment. Looks like David's managed to hang on somehow, and you can see that it's punched.
Yeah.
The Alpha Venturi boys up behind, there's 3 of them there all battling hard, so look at this.
Yeah, it's really good to see Alpha Venturis. This is where they can work as a team. There's only one kitten up there right now, and there's one between them, so see what these boys can do.
Well, Tom Riley saying that track position is king. I tend to agree with you, buddy. You know, if you've got track position, you've got to keep it at a place like this where it's hard to pass. You can't give them a sniff, can you?
Coming down the hill now, bit of a crush in the background. Too wide up there as well. I just saw that. Let's have a look at the Alpha Venturi boy in front of him. Doesn't make a move. He's just had a look. Matthew Pignardi, very aggressive driver, but a good one. Across the top, he should not peak there because he's going to lose a bit of straight line speed here. So we'll see him go down to turn 1. Does he make a dive? No. Yeah, nice driving by Pignardi. He's can make the dive here because he's got the
here he goes. No. Oh, yep, David was going to look at covering and then realised he'd moved a bit late, so he went back. I think that was smart driving by David, and look at it now, he's going to hold that inside line for the next one. Can Matty get the over-under done? He's carrying more speed.
I wouldn't do it here because you've got to lose all your pace up the straight, and he has. Have a look at that.
Well, you wash out wide there, you've really got to take a wide line to get the straight run there. You know, it may be tempting, but as you're right, you just wash off a lot of speed.
Yeah, that's it. I reckon Pignardi just needs to sit here and wait for the right opportunity. Because the more he peaks and dives, his team might go, oh, I might get involved, and yeah.
Well, no, if he's got his teammates behind him and they're not going to pressure him too much, then he can play peekaboo and maybe try and play some games on the guys in front. But all right, so we'll just have to see how it plans out. Oh no, who's
Bernie
that?
off the track. Bernie's off
Martin
the track.
And Martin Lofthouse, I think, had an off as well, so that would have been the JWM you saw there. That would have been Martin. I know Martin Lofthouse has had some great rounds last season and was really pushing his way up the pack all season. And found himself on the wrong end of the stick tonight. We've got 3 Alpha Venturi cars all racing line astern. Have a look at Blake Delaney there running in P10 at the moment, and he's actually a couple of spots ahead of the resident F3 fishy Adam Simpson. So bit of an upstart run here from Blake Delaney, eh?
Yeah, fast, smooth, smart driver. That's all you can say about Delaney. He's you look at his wheel work. You watch. He won't have one correction. So he'll come down the hill, and obviously he drives a lot of things. But have a look at this. No wheel work at all. Just turn her in.
Smooth.
Yep, that's all it is, and that would be a lot from the prototypes and a bit of supercar as well. But the supercar, you're always on the edge of grip with the setup, so down the hill now.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure we'll see these guys on the edge of grip as they push hard. Those lap times at the moment, we're looking in the 1:16s at the moment. Phil Bella with a 1:16 flat, and he's about half a second advantage over Michael Cullajar on that last lap. Jay Dixon, a couple more tenths behind them. Actually, no, it's just closed in. So we're looking at it was a 16.9 for Phil last lap, a 16.13 for Michael Cullajar, and a 16.3 for Jay Dixon, 16.4 for David Gallo, 16.7 for Matthew Pignata, 16.8 for Ryan. Look, all of these guys in the 16s, like the top 10. That's crazy.
Coming around the fast straight here now. So, and I said about that having guys pulling back a bit. Yeah, that's definitely affected Pignata. Timothy Schallenberg in 17th.
Nicholas Schmalenberg just been issued a drive-through penalty for that contact we saw there. Unfortunate, of course, but these things do happen, and you got to take your licks, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
At least it's not a cat of nine tails. It's only a drive-through. But
it's good though.
Wow, look at that's right. It does tend to put you out of the mix, and you're almost sort of counting on another safety car to give you any chance to get back into the race. But this is great action. We are just over 20 minutes into our feature race here for the F3s tonight. Guys, this is SRW TV, F3s at Brands Hatch. Big thanks to our series sponsor, Warren and Brown. The promo department is our safety car sponsor, and all our other great sponsors here at SRW. We thank them immensely. That's Fast Track Experiences, Racecraft, Grim Industries, Toyo Sim, Melville Equipment Corps, and Dragon RC. We love having you guys on board, and we can't do it without you.
Going back to John as well, locked on lads. He's doing well, P19.
Yeah, up 12 still.
And look at Delaney up the inside. Look at that.
Already. That's a nice move.
So Loretti was going to go there, but he knew it wasn't the best move. So Loretti gets the run now. It's all about the runs, and I was saying that before. It's all about the runs.
It's all about the black flags too, buddy, because looks like Tyson McAvoy's been issued a black flag, and Thomas Sanderson with a black flag as well. So we did see some contact and shenanigans going on there, and looks like the culprits have been identified by race control, and the stick, or the long arm of the law, is back in force.
That's it. But yeah, I was like saying about Pignata, it's all about just getting those runs. It's not making a move every 5 seconds, and you can do that, but obviously Delaney just having a beautiful run there and just getting the move done really nicely there. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Pignata at all, what he's doing, but it's obviously you can see him now just.
Well, I think him and Ryan are working together, and Daniel Hunter, all of these boys are working together. I can't see Ryan putting pressure. Matthew went wide there when he was hunting down David, and Ryan probably had a chance to send it if he wanted to, but he didn't do that on his teammate. So I don't know if team order are in play, Connor, but at this point of the race, you wouldn't really risk that on your teammate, would you?
Oh, I'm not saying about teammates. It's just get the run, but anyway. So, David Keller.
I was going to say, it's one of those things where you might you know, if
So David Gallo back on board. Yeah, chasing down the guy in front of him.
and I'm in about a second gap or just inside, yeah. Jay was P3 last week, so currently P3 again this week. It's Michael Cuttajar who's put himself in the middle of the podium spot at the moment, putting in a great effort at the moment. It's still close.
Yeah, he's doing very well, Jay Dixon. And have a look at this. Up the inside.
Doug Gowan's going deep, yep, and looks like John's had to get out of that and give up that spot. Nice move from Doug Gowan's there, finding his feet after getting caught up a bit at the start there.
Yeah, just a nice recovery drive, that's all it is, and up to P17 now. So
Well, it's one of the advantages, man. I would love to be driving.
So John actually just went off the track as well.
Oh no.
So here's the replay. So you saw Doug making the move, and yeah, he's
He's lost the
sideways.
rear.
So it looks like the back left has either got a bit of sand or something into it.
I think they're trying to carry a bit too much speed, you know. It's one of those things. Again, they're a tricky car when you're right on the edge of that your grip level, and you think you give it enough, a tiny bit too much, and the rear rotates. Blake Delaney, he's up into P9 now, having a great drive. Matthew Pignata leading the Alpha Venturi pack behind him at the moment. Looks like he's made a little bit of a gap. That gap to Ryan behind him back out to a second, I should say. But these guys are settling in. David Gallo, we were advised at the start of the race that he would be the dark horse tonight. He's put in a lot of time here and a lot of laps, and so far that's showing. P4 running really good. And last lap was a 16 flat, so he's not far off the pace.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see if there's any battles down the back, actually, if we can have a look.
Well, let's have a look at the timing chart. We can see it's Gallo closing in there. I think, is that Hunter, Daniel Hunter? There's a close battle there with Daniel Hunter and Houlihan, but I think that's that Alpha Venturi train. Scotty Bargen, he's battling with Adrian Loretti for P10, I think, is that? And Blake Delaney right on the back of Daniel Byrne. So there's a couple of battles there to have a look at. Let's have a look at Blake Delaney, I think, buddy. That is getting really close. He's closing right in on Daniel Byrne here. Gap down to under half a second.
Yeah, he's definitely chasing him down.
Oh, he's just quick in any car by the looks of it, eh?
Yeah, he's got the good grip on, and one of the cars just pulling over there.
Nathan Burney's already a lap down, so just letting the field through there. Staying out of the mess, which is fair enough.
Yeah, it's very fair. So just a tiny little correction there. But it looks like these tyres are starting to fade a little bit. Oh, and I was talking about fading. Yeah. Look at that. Huge correction.
Locked a rear and they snapped around. He did well to catch that.
And Loretti's going to get a run as well.
Yeah, otherwise he had to keep that up. He's more probably worried about Scotty Barger behind him. You know, but something like that happens, get that snap oversteer and you only lose one place. I'll take that any day.
Yeah, nice little catch there. And Phil's just pulling away as well. Just had a look. So Scotty Barger.
It's an interesting battle to watch here, Connor, because this is Troy Durley and Doug Gowan. Now, Troy pitted lap 2, so he may not have enough fuel, but Doug pitted lap 7, so he's probably one of the heavier cars out there. Thomas Sanderson behind him, he pitted lap 14, so these are the guys that are pitted.
I was going to say, these are the different strategies coming in play, and that's what I was saying before. You know, Doug's just thrown the rule book out and went, okay, let's try something different. And that's what you got to do in racing.
When you're down the pack, that's it, man.
Oh, well, if you're not sure, you just go, F it, let's do it, you know, and that's what he's done. So well done to him.
I think, what you were trying to say there is that you'd rather make a bad call than not make a call.
I think I think sometimes it's like yay or nay. You risk it for the biscuit. That's how I think of it.
Exactly, buddy.
Yeah.
You could hold off making that call, and that opportunity slips away. Sometimes you've just got to go, I have a gut saying do it. And look, something's happened. Is that a massive crash by someone there? Because the safety car's been called out. Steve Tonkin with a massive crash by the looks of it. Let's have a look. He's lost the rear. Uh-oh, is this going to be a rejoin mistake? Oh, he's lost the rear again. And that car's crabbing, is it? No? Okay, Stephen survived, so why did we have a safety car brought out? And look at the field there, all coming in. Alright, so is there anyone else that made a big moment there? Or is maybe it was a bit further because Stephen had an off and then had a crash, maybe. So it might have been something where we had to keep watching that. S. Tonkin is in pit lane at the moment. But it looks like he might have, I don't know if he made it back there or he towed. Tyson had a moment as well, okay. Well, there's a fair bit happening there on the timing charts. That's and now that everyone's coming into the pits, it's lightened up completely. Tyson McAvoy jumped to the pits, so there might have been a tow there. So
Yeah, it could be. Definitely could be a tow.
well, Connor, you're picking some good nights to come and join the commentary, buddy. The F3s, it's been action packed tonight.
Yeah, mate. That's just me, mate. I jump in when it's all good, and then I jump out when it's bad.
Well, you missed the TCRs, mate, and that was a cracker race as well.
Yeah.
Dylan DeBono and Scotty Rankin all getting caught up in incidents there, so it's sort of really flipped the start of the season now. Leaders from round one, have fallen down the charts for round two, so it's going to be a wide open field, I think, for next week and the championship going forward. Whereas here, it's Phil Vella. P1 last week, first race in SRW, and he runs away with the victory for the DFR team. And now, race number 2, and he is in the prime seat. He has pitted the entire field, I think, pitted around that time there, so that must have been pretty close to fuel windows. Or enough time it now has gone past. We're past halfway, so definitely these guys have filled and have got enough to get home, I would think.
Yeah, well, one of the comments said did go halfway, and that's Stephen got by, so he was a lap down.
I think just looking at a few wave-throughs, I think, being let through, so Michael Fowson might get the advantage of that as well. We'll have to keep an eye out there. But it has been certainly action-packed, my friend, and, we get to take a breather, watch the safety car lead them round for one more lap, and then have another go at it again.
Talking about the safety car, let them know what our sponsor is for the safety car. Cowy, go for it.
Well, it is the promo department. I must admit that livery is looking really good. I know the boys have, updated the SRW team paints, and looks like the promo department got a nice little upgrade as well. Looks like a pretty shiny spec map on that as well, Connor.
Definitely does, mate.
Well, Phil Vella has so far shown his class and his pace, and currently leads this race. We have about 27 minutes or so remaining of tonight's F3 feature race. Again, out there, guys, thank you very much for coming and joining us here at SRW TV. If you are enjoying the content, please give us a like. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the notifications. And better yet, if you're a sim racer who wants to get involved and aren't already involved, jump on board. We've got lots of series racing 6 nights a week, and there is plenty of cars and action that I'm sure will tickle your fancy.
Tickle my fancy. Oh, look out. Yeah. But anyway, got a job, P2. I reckon he'd be pretty keen to get a move on Phil, but at the same time, I think Cuttajar's thinking long game.
He's a good racer, man.
Yeah, I think he's
good race head. Yeah, I think good race head. Will he? I'm sure he will take. If there's a half a sniff, he'll take a snap at it. but I don't think you're going to see him doing any, deep sends and risky manoeuvres. I think you're right there, buddy.
I think just getting P2 and just moving on the rounds, Phil might make a mistake and Cuttajar might cut it and capitalise. So, yeah, I think Cuttajar will just go, it's round 2, second,
Well,
that'll be fine.
He's got to be careful, though, because he's got Phil's teammate, Jay Dixon, who's also quick right behind him. So you can't just, stick with your laurels because, when you've got a thirsty pack of F3s behind you, I think these guys are going to be straight on the pace. Do you reckon any of them took tyres? I'm looking at the times there for hits.
It wouldn't be stupid, to be honest, to go tyres.
Look,
maybe to have that extra... Maybe to add that little extra advantage, like...
Yeah, looking at the timing, man. Looking at the timing, the only one we can see is maybe Thomas Sanderson, who's had a 50-second stop as opposed to a 26-second stop.
Yep.
So he might have taken tyres, but I think the rest of them sitting around that 26 to 28 seconds. So, sorry, who was that? 31, did you say there? Darren Fay had 31. 31's probably not enough for tyres, but the 50 might be. All right, here we go. Phil's gone early once again and caught the field. You think that they would have cottoned onto it by now, wouldn't you?
Real up from Phil, and have a look at that.
Huge.
Capped Dixon, and have a look at that. Big Data trying to put a move on. No, that's Ryan. Ryan's trying to make a move.
Hey,
Let's
what's
have a
in
look
the
at
pit
this up the
schedule?
inside of Dave. Good move there. Oh, was it contact?
Oh,
Oh, he went really deep there.
He's washed wide.
I thought there was contact there, so coming down to turn 3, Ryan's on a bit of a hunt here, leaving the teammates behind and going, see you boys, I'm going for it. So,
Well, he might have fed David Gallo to the outside there a little bit, but it was certainly a great pass. And one of those spots where you're going to see some action on Brands Hatch.
Jay Dixon on the outside here of Cuttajar. Cuttajar's
Yeah, he's got him done. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Both of those DFR boys are quite fast, and Michael trying to hold him off there, but thought better at the end. Actually, has Michael got a bit of diffuser damage or something? Because
I think backed out of it.
that's Daniel Hunter we're looking at it here. Yeah, okay. So
yeah, Cuttajar just backed out of it. He had the better line as well, but I think he thought keep it smart. So well done to Cuttajar, and there's a move up there. It looks like all the Alpha Furies are going at the kittens.
oh, look at that. So that's David Gallo falling back. Okay, David trying to make a move there. Daniel Hunter, Michael Pignata there, and they're getting Adrian already. So this is, we did talk about a little bit of a rivalry between the Alpha and Kittens boys, and we're seeing it on track. It's 3 versus 2 at the moment, and it is Ryan Houlihan ahead of David Gallo, Michael Pignata ahead of Daniel Hunter, and Adrian Loretti. So it's on, man. It's on. Look at this.
Like the DFR guys are just gone though, 1-2, so good on them. And so we're riding on board with Matthew Pignata. He couldn't get this done before, but his 2 teammates have got it done. So let's see if Pignata can get the move done. Has a look, goes on the outside. Oh, almost goes off the roof. Almost goes off the road there. Good move by David Gallo there. Really nice block there. Pignata looks like he doesn't have much tyre under him anymore. I threw him drift out a little there. Well, didn't hit the apex too much, so yeah, could have a little bit of tyre deck on it.
Or pushing hard, buddy. I think, in the moment you start to see that big understeer like that, it's just, they're pushing hard.
We saw him attack so much early on, so I don't think he might have a little bit of damage on the tyres. And have a look at this, Ryan trying to make a move around the outside of Cuttajar.
Yeah.
Up front
Michael just struggling a little bit since the restart. Maybe put a bit too much fuel in the car, maybe?
Ryan's been really aggressive here, so Ryan could just have a bit more tyre under him and having the correction on the exit. So Ryan actually might not have that much tyre under him. He's just pushing hard. David Gallo might make a move on Cuttajar here. So let's see what happens. Had a voice crack there, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the first one of the night. Well done, Connor. So let's see Gallo make a move around Cuttajar now. Cuttajar in the Sparko, the entry. Really nice.
Thanks for the shout out, Dave Coleman, watching the Fishy boys, his teammates racing tonight. Great to see You got Blake Delaney to join, Adam. I know he was feeling a bit lonely out here, Dave, so glad to see you boys putting up a bit more of a showing.
What about Blake? Let's have a look at Delaney. So, does he go up the inside? I'm sure they're all chatting, so go for it, Delaney. Go for it, mate. Oh, he's went off the track. I'm sure Dave's talking to him, going, yeah, I'm sure Dave's talking to Delaney going, oh, you're on the screen now, mate.
Well, if you're going to say that, man, you've got to put a shout out to our cameraman at the moment, the Sainted Man, because there's a comment from the Sainted Lady on the chat there saying she's proud of you doing the cam work, buddy, so well done. And at the moment,
nice.
There's all action to keep a hold of, so, you know, and look at the rear of that.
Oh, that was close.
He just slipped that
I was
around.
going to say, Rob doesn't do bad on the cameras. He does very well. So thank you for Rob's wife to let him do this for a bit. Oh, off the road there almost. Darren Fahey.
So apparently Blake Delaney had to race something that the pro driver Jamie Dyke isn't in. So he's race control tonight. Is that what it is? No. The Fishy boys love poking fun at each other. Make sure you apologise to Ty for me too, Dave. I have apologised, but I might have made contact last night with him.
You're on the bad list of the Fishies. I'm always on the bad list.
They love me, man. It's just, you know, rubbing's racing occasionally, and I rubbed a bit hard last night. Oh, look at that. That's a great look. Yeah, that was a great move. Just almost like the car spat. You know when you turn a car in and instantly you feel a grip and you can gas up? That's what that looked like to me, Connor. And snappy move, and he got it done.
I was going to say, I think he's just not pushing, and he's pushing hard, but he's keeping the tyre under him. And a lot of these guys push hard and just use all the tyre. So I reckon Delaney's just got that grip.
Well, one of the things I was going to say the other way is that sometimes driving these F3s and the open wheelers can be a bit counterintuitive. You know, normally in a V8 supercar, if you're going to get understeer into a corner, you slow it up a little bit more to get it turned in. With these things, you've got to trust the downforce, and what that means sometimes, you send it harder and it grips even better. So, and I think that's maybe what we saw, man. Yeah.
But Mother Nature doesn't like us sometimes, and normally sends us. But Darren Fahey on the back of, I think that's one of the JWM cars.
So Dave saying he gave you a bit of a touch last week, buddy. So he's made. Is that an apology?
Yeah. I've never heard. I haven't got a text message, Dave. So I wouldn't call that an apology, mate.
No, all good, Dave. No, it's, I've learnt one thing with the Fishies. Don't touch Ty's car. Because Blake, I'll get a nice colourful message from Blake.
There's too many of them. There's too many of them.
Nah, it's good to race them.
You pick on one Fishy. I mean, the reason they call them Fishy Motorsports and they got a piranha on the side of.
And look at this. Up the inside, Delaney. Talking about Fishies. Up the inside, bang. Done.
He's got it done. So he is finding some confidence in the F3 now as well. And you see Adam Simpson, his teammate, running in P14 at the moment. Oh, the 3 wide, a little bit of a touch there. That's great. Andrew Lydon getting that move. Oh, no, he's lost it. And contact. Don't do it. That's...
5, 6 in bold there.
That'll
be safety car for sure. 20 minutes to go.
Mr. Blake Delaney has, you know, come out scot clean out of that. Oh, request to tow has come over the radio, so I think you're right. This will be safety car number 4. So we both got it wrong. J-Mac, how many did J-Mac call early on? He said 2, didn't he? Oh, he said 4. J-Mac said, oh, look at it. Oh.
So he's just turning it around here. But it looks like he's just lost tyre.
Martin Lofthouse had to tow as well, so...
Yeah.
I
was going to say with that crash, that would just be the mechanical grip letting go.
Yeah. Right on the edge of the limit.
I just want to have a quick chat before, because we're under safety car. I think Coleman actually rubbed on Matt Stewart's car, so but yeah, that was a good laugh actually.
Oh, so you're going to bring Matty Stewart into it too now, so it's not just
I don't want to say anything,
it's a
but
Dave Coleman rivalry. It's
it's good. It's good racing with the boys. It's good fun.
Mate,
Like
but
it
in
gets
the
heated
end-
sometimes, but it's really good fun.
Well,
Oh,
in the
two
end,
off
I
the road
think
there.
in the end we trust. You know, I mean, the best racing is when you can trust the guy next to you. Now, occasionally, you know, we all make mistakes. It's not gonna, you're not gonna get it right every time, and some of us make more mistakes than others do. But you know, again, it was Adrian Loretti got. Did he get caught up in that mess as well? Did he?
I think he's just lost
Let's have a
traction.
look back and
Oh,
see
hang
what's
on.
happened there. Okay,
Oh,
Rob's
he's just
trying to
sitting there.
scroll it back
Oh,
to see
there
what's
he is.
happened.
Is
So
this
he's
under safety
has he
car?
gone onto the grass
Yeah,
to
this is-
avoid it?
Oh no, this is what is he?
I can't
Oh.
look at that front wing's broken. I think he's grabbing a little. You can and then he's made contact.
he's collected.
No.
He's got no front wheel. What happened
Oh.
there? So Sinkovic got collected. That's why we saw Sinkovic on the side of the road, looking like a clapped out Holden on the side of the road.
Oh. It's gonna be what you mean a Ford, do you? Is that what you meant? I
Oh,
thought
you know
said
what?
Ford.
I'm actually driving a Holden right now, so I shouldn't say anything. But it's quite funny.
I wouldn't have had
funny.
a problem with it if you said Ford, buddy. You know, but
No. I'm not saying a Ford because my teammates would absolutely roast me to next Tuesday, so I'm all good.
oh, we'll give you
So-
some indemnity here, buddy.
No, but just sitting behind the safety car, Phil is, but everyone's just getting waved around unless you're Phil. Phil is just dominating right now. What a great drive from him right now.
Well, I think
Least-
more than anything, he's out in front, ahead of everything happening behind him, so he hasn't had to worry about it. And
Better tyres than everyone as well because he's just
True.
got that clean air. So he's chilling.
but he's also got his teammate behind him for this restart as well. Jay Dixon, that was a great move there, cutting through the field. And Michael Cuttajar, he was the one that lost out, so I don't know if he maybe overheated his tyres there. He's had a moment early, and you know what it's like when you push the tyres a little bit too hard, and it can take a lap or more for it to get back down into that window, especially if you've lit it up and overheated it.
You
It
see, I
definitely
don't
looked
make
like he-
mistakes, Cowy.
Oh, you are going to come back and eat those words, my friend.
Oh, I know. Carmel will hit me in the butt for that one, but
And I think if you make a mistake on stream, we're going to have a few people calling it out, I think.
Oh
buddy.
yes,
So-
indeed.
See, I
well,
make mistakes all the time, so they just become, the norm.
So
Oh,
anyway,
there you
moving
go.
on.
Was that Watkins Glen meant there? Was something about a mistake at Watkins Glen? 8-second lead and a mistake?
no, it's right, America.
Right, America? Okay. 18-second lead. Oh, wow. Well, it happens to everyone, man, so we can give you...
I know
Right,
the stream can't hear that full conversation, but anyway, moving on.
It's all good,
Gee.
buddy. It's all good.
I'm gonna get roasted that. Oh god.
Well,
Anyway,
you deserve it after that Holden comment, mate, so,
no, I don't. Oh, I'm gonna get some
That's right.
messages from the fishies
Well,
and
that's
everyone
right.
now.
You're handling the prototypes and the 86s tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's it,
Right.
mate. Little buzz boxes and high horsepower downforce cars. It's good.
That's what I've been
We're
calling
looking
them,
to
buzz
try to get a
boxes.
few more guys in that prototype field because it looked a bit thin. We need to get some more guys out there. I might see how I'm going.
I think we'll get more GT 86s
Yep.
in there. I mean that was great last Thursday. For the rounds we've got for the prototypes, they're not really suited for the prototypes, but seeing the 86s last week, that was amazing. It really was to watch. Some real drivers actually joining in as well, and that was really good to watch. I think it was Sam. I could get that name wrong, but Sam was he's a real life 86 driver.
Oh.
And really good to see some real life race car drivers that raced a real thing, and some sim drivers really going together really well. And yeah, it was really good to watch. And I'm sure if anyone wants to watch, go to SRW TV and watch Rob and myself's voice yab along about 86 and prototypes for 3 hours.
Awesome,
So, yeah.
man. Yeah, look, one of the great things, and I hope you stick with the series for a while, because once you sort of start to commentate the series for a while, you get to know the drivers, get to recognise the
100%.
cars,
I don't
I've
mind
got it.
yarning. I don't mind yarning with Rob. It's quite funny actually.
Apparently, Rob, your lovely other half, says she hears it all the time anyway, so... Sitting right beside you, there you go. Glad to see you're fine and the F3's fun, Sam, and enjoying the chat, buddy. Thanks very much. We are having a blast here, and it's just great to see, like, was it 29 cars tonight? I think we had 33 last week, so this field is really sort of growing in strength. And as I said before, we're not just getting one-off drivers joining the series, we're getting teams bringing 5 or 6 cars in. And, you know, when you start bringing team championships into it, remember the F3s, they have a little championship within a championship that follows the F3s, the F1 season. So I don't think Brands Hatch is counting for any of them this week. So this is part of the regular season, but I know last week's race Silverstone was a part of the big F1 challenge for these guys. So the sort of championship within a championship. All right, safety car is away, so we're getting ready to go. I don't think Jay's going to go. Let's have a look and see where Phil goes again. There it is. So he's just picking up that exit.
That was really smart. Jay just sitting back a little bit, and Phil just leads away. That's really smart. Well done, boys. And our Ventura right behind him. That's actually Ryan. So he's up into P3 now. Cut a jar on the inside of one of the our Venturas.
Yeah, that's really good move from Andy's. Moved straight away.
Oh, that was almost contact.
Well, he moved straight away to cover there, so he gave Matthew Pignata no choice but to try and go around the outside.
Sorry to cut you off there.
No, that's all right. I think Matthew didn't expect him to cover like he did, but Michael was full aware of what Matthew was going to try and do. All right, looking back, the JWM boys, Steve Tompkins and Nicholas Schmalenberg. So there, you know, doesn't look like there's any team orders there. They're pushing hard. We are inside the last 10 minutes of this race tonight, guys. So this is the money laps coming now. So we'll have to see if those team friendships remain team friendships or become team rivalries. I reckon all bets are off when you come to the end of a race like this, buddy. As long as you don't contact.
Yeah, I've almost killed a certain person, but
no contact rule exists, right? For a reason.
But Adam.
Oh no, what's happened is that Blake Delaney, something's happened to Blake. He spun and he was having a great run. We were talking it up. Dave Coleman, did you jinx him or something, buddy?
Oh, they're probably all giving him smack in the chat.
Oh no. We might try to have a look and see what happened there when we can, please, Mr. Saint.
JWM.
Oh, what a nice move from John McHenry. Trying to get around the outside of Doug Gowan there. Who's that?
On there.
Oh, what a nice move from Michael. Who was that? Doug Gowan up the inside.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good move from Michael Falson and Nicholas Schmalenberg, Matty Gerard behind this as well. So what you like to see is that timing towel yellow and orange. All right, so here's what's happened to Blake Delaney. Oh, contact.
No.
Off the curb.
Contact too.
To see if that is, because that's pretty tight there. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
I'd almost put that on Blake, to be honest. I hate to say it, but I reckon it might be.
Well, that'll be one.
It might be a 50-50 though.
Oh, it's a headache that race control can enjoy, mate, because I don't think I'm interested in that one at all.
That's why I
Too
sit here and...
fish oil on the rear tires, apparently, from Dave.
Oh, what did he say, Dave?
Too much fish oil. Too much fish oil.
Yeah.
Well, at least it won't rust, buddy. It won't rust.
Oh, that's it.
Fish oil off.
Dave might rust, but I'll stay here nice and oily.
Well, at the moment it is Phil Vella for DFR out in front. He has a 2.3 second lead over his teammate Jay Dixon. And Ryan Houlihan, he's 6/10 back. Ryan Houlihan, here's our P2 runner last round. Now finding himself in P3. And it looks like he's right on the back of Jason Dixon at the moment. So we're watching the battle here between Adam Simpson and Matty Gerard. Who's that? Michael Schmalenberg, Michael Falson and John McHenry all in front here. Doug Gowan. This battle is close. We're looking at, what's that? 10 cars all within about 7-8 seconds of each other. So it's just a long train. Look at it.
Just put a picnic blanket over him and you're all good.
Or is that a move on the inside there?
That was something.
I think that was Matty Gerard trying to get up the inside of Nicholas Schmalenberg. He's offline now. Is that going to get... Oh, he's let Adam Simpson through. I wonder if that was a reject. I want
I think
that
that's-
was a redress for contact.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's really smart, just tucking back in. JWM up front though too.
And you
I
wouldn't
think
give
that's
up
got
that,
Bargin.
you wouldn't give up
Hmm?
that spot if you had to. Oh,
Oh, that's
that's
Bargin.
wide.
No, that's not Bargin.
No, that is. We're looking right in the middle of that. Michael Salzen. Michael Felsen, was it?
Must be.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Rob.
So
But this is awesome action, buddy.
Adam making a good move there too, just up the inside, really effective move there. And back to the front. This is Cuttager.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
Pink
come back
Fox,
to
the
this.
battle.
It looks like Cuttager's really. I want to say kind of off the pace, but I think he
He's
might
hurt
put
his
a bit of
tires.
bit more fuel in.
That's what I
More
thought.
than tires. Yeah.
When he came out after that pit stop, it looked to me like the car was performing a bit more like a boat than a race car, and that told me that it was heavy. So it'd be interesting to see if that is the case and he put a bit too much fuel in.
Yeah.
It's possible that he chewed up those tyres too. So, but at the moment, doing his best to try and hold on to P5. And please, Max, can you leave my keyboard cable alone, please? My brand new British Bulldog deciding to chew the cables on my rig. Don't do that, please.
Well, besides talking about Cowy's dog, let's get back to the race. Kittens, 4 of them. See what these boys can do. So, Jaron Fahey hasn't had some good luck here tonight, so let's see what he can do from here. And Michael Stevens just went off the track. So,
Oh. Alright, we're going to have a look and see what happened to Michael here. So,
too much Jandal? No, it's sideways. Oh, he's had,
just, yeah,
he had
just
a
lost the
wiggle.
rear.
He had a wiggle coming up the hill too, so that might have just had a bit of a wiggle bang snap.
Steve
So-
Tocken just had an off. I saw him tumble down the list a little bit too. Have a look at John McHenry. He's running in 11th position at
that
the
was
moment.
close.
He's up 20 spots.
That was close. I just saw Phil just almost skim the grass and go to next Tuesday. So
Well,
that
he
was
just
really
did a
close.
15. He just did a 15.7, mate. So turning it on.
pushing it. Yeah, doesn't need to, but why not?
Was that race control just mentioning something? I think it might have been a no further action or a racing incident. But we got kittens battling kittens. Look at that, four kittens together at the moment. Is this a kitty litter box? I thought it was Brands Hatch, not a kitty litter.
I think I made that joke last season.
Well, it was
Anyway.
funny, I think.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what
I
it was.
like.
Oh,
What a lad that was. Yeah.
yeah. Darren Fahey not having a good night, but
So who do we say that was Thomas Sanderson? He was the guy I suspected took tyres. He's now in 9th position and is up 10 spots. So that call for tyres, that might have been an absolute... Oh, Blake Delaney.
that's what I said before too, Cowy. Like, someone throws it out the window with a rule book. It works, you know. Sometimes it works, and that's working for him. So really well done. Michael Cuttager just trying to hold on for dear life.
He's up in P4, so what's happened there? Someone has tumbled down. That would... No, who is that? That's... Jay Dixon is running in 14th at the moment. So something has happened to Jay Dixon. Can we see what's happened there? Because he's passed Michael Felsen. Some moments happened and then he's suddenly back in 14th position.
Maybe.
He entered
Fuel,
the
maybe.
pits. Maybe fuel. Yeah, it was a bit short. Is that another twist, man? Is there a fuel stop twist? It can't be because we only got 2 minutes to go and these guys are still out there. So is he just underfueled himself?
Yeah, I mean, I think his calculations, because they were under safety cars for so long, he hasn't put that extra bit of fuel in that he needs.
Oh, that's gut-wrenching, isn't it? But
Yeah, that's what it would be. So Scotty Bargin, we were talking about him all last week. Couldn't shut up about him. And in the P7, new livery too. It's
Well,
a big
he's-
map now. Looks good.
in a quiet achievement tonight. Scotty Bargin up 7 positions. It's Timothy Schmalenberg ahead of him, P6. He's up 15 positions.
That's not bad. That's definitely not bad.
It's not
That-
bad.
That'd be
And then
fuel
John
stop,
McHenry, here is our big gainer. So John McHenry starting from the rear of the grid for tonight, finds himself in the 11th position, up 20 spots.
Yeah, I mean, John's probably one of those guys though that kind of chills out and goes, "Oh, you boys, crash, bang, fart, do what you think early on, and then I'll just drive through."
Well, that's what he's done.
Yeah.
And it's worked to his advantage because he is in P11 and chasing down P10.
So this will be last lap, I'm going to say. 'Cause, yeah, it might be. Yeah, it could be actually.
Well, we're inside the last minute, I think. Pretty close to it, buddy. So, again, fun for the F3 seems to go very, very fast around here. Phil Vella, well, he's kept clear of all of the shenanigans behind him. It might have been a boring race for him out front, but it looks like he's going to bring home another W. So 2 from 2 if it stays as it is, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a massive contender for the championship at this point. Jay Dixon up to P12 now.
No Matty
Unfortunate.
Jones tonight, buddy, so I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I'd say it's fuel. I really think it'd be fuel.
For Jay, yeah.
24-second stop, so yeah, it would make sense. His calculations have been off about 7 to 8 litres of fuel, and he's just had to go in there and go, well, I'm gonna have to suck it up. But
well,
there
it is. Yeah, and it is Phil Bellard. 2 starts, 2 finishes. Ryan Houlihan, 2 starts, 2 P2s. So that's a great effort from Ryan again, getting himself back on the grid.
Scotty Bargin in one of the JWM cars just going across.
Timothy didn't quite get it, but that would be a pretty photo finish over the line there. It was David Gallo for Kittens Motorsports in P3 tonight. The Kittens boys giving me a bit of dirt, saying that David was the dark horse because he's practiced heaps. Well, that has completely shown how true it is. You practice and put in the effort, then the results can come your way. And Dave with a great P3.
Yeah, 100%. You put laps and times in. You're going to become a better driver. And it looks like Dave, and I hate to say it, but Dave was just another step ahead from those Kittens. He was just another gun. And it's good to see. So I might bring those Kittens up as a whole and go, hey boys, I'm going to jump on at about 7. All jump on. Let's do some practice laps. So
well, it's one of those.
Well done. Really
it's one of those things too, though. And I mean, I thought I had good pace myself the other night, but I qualified terrible, so you end up behind all these other cars. And sometimes that's what can happen. Your race pace can be fine, but if you don't qualify and put it up near the front of the grid, then you've got all these other people to deal with. So, but there is the results on the screen for all of you. It is Phil Vella for Downforce Racing in P1. Once again, 2 starts for SRW, 2 podiums and 2 W's, more importantly, so that's a great effort from Phil. Ryan Houlihan for Alpha Venturi will P2 for Alpha Venturi, and we did talk about that vendetta with Kittens Racing. Well, David Gallo in P3, and we did see, Ryan make some great moves out there on track to take that, so he earned that P2 over David Gallo for Kittens in P3. Michael Cuttajar, well, did Michael do a bit of damage to his tyres, or did he put a bit too much fuel in? He was certainly on Phil's pace early on in the race, but just falling just off the podium, but still a good result for Michael Cuttajar, P4. Matthew Pignata battling hard there for pretty much the whole race for Alpha Venturi Racing. Timothy Schmalenberg, well, there's the dark horse, 15 positions up from his grid start to put it P6, so that's a great drive and the first of the JWM e-motorsports cars. Scotty Barjan for Area 51 Sim Sports P7, another quiet night. We didn't get to see a lot of you on track, Scotty, but a great result, buddy, and you put it right where you needed to. Thomas Sanderson, he's another big mover, up 11 spots with a great drive for P8. Daniel Hunter in P9 for Alpha Venturi Racing, so both of those boys doing well for the team. And 4 cars in the top 10, that's a great effort from the Alpha Venturi boys. Doug Gowans, after taking out the TCR race, the feature race tonight in the TCRs, he's come back to put it P10 for Velocity SimLab, so how awesome is that? Alrighty, buddy, so I suppose we need to bring in a couple of these boys, just waiting on David Gallo
Actually,
to join the chat as well.
yeah, I can actually just drag him into the green room.
Yeah, we got him now, mate. So let's bring David down and have a chat to him.
Hey, Dave, not a bad result, mate. P3, how do you feel after that? Oh, he might be AFK.
Are you
Do
with
you have
us, Dave? We got you in the chat there, buddy.
Oh, no.
You've dragged him down and he's not quite ready for us. So let's put him back up in the green room. And we might, let's,
What a feel, maybe.
yeah, let's bring
Hey,
down.
Phil, mate, good result for tonight. Bit of a boring race, mate, but you absolutely dominated tonight. How do you feel after that?
Yeah, it feels really good. I just found a bit of a rhythm and settled into it, and just came together for me.
Yeah, mate, you looked like you just knew what you were doing, and you weren't fighting with anyone, so you had fresh tyres compared to everyone. At the end, mate, you pulled out a stupid gap there, and you were just like, "See you, boys. I'll see you next Wednesday." And it's one of these rounds. Your second round into it, and you just look like you're the new pace and you're the new gun in the town, mate. Bloody good result, mate.
Yeah, thanks. I actually think that Jay was probably faster than me tonight, but we didn't have the right strategy. But yeah, there were a few guys in the kind of mid 115s pushing the pace there, so it wasn't the most comfortable, but I did get to a point where I could manage the tyres and make them last the full hour.
Well, you got to practice your safety car restarts, buddy, and you got to jump on the field there pretty much every time. Didn't look like you changed it up. It's just you went at the exact right time you needed to get a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, I just wanted them to be safe, to be honest. One safety car breeds additional safety cars, and so I just wanted to kind of stretch the field out a bit and get ahead a bit so that we didn't have too many.
So that was Jay running a bit of shotgun for you there at the end with that last safety car restart?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, mate, with Jay tonight, unfortunately with the fuel strategy, and I said in the com box, he's probably only 7 litres or 8 litres short, mate. What was the fuel? How much was he short by?
I think we needed 13, and I think he was 5 or 6 litres short of that.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, we were talking about strategy all race, and I know you're probably the best person to talk about. I don't know if you're the best because obviously you got the pace, but you obviously have a strategy behind you. But what was kind of the best strategy behind you guys? What was the nail in the coffin? When did you want to pit?
It's most efficient to pit when the safety car's there and you've got the window of race remaining that means you can fill it up and you won't hit those challenges. But with the additional safety cars, that window actually slides further backwards. So, we thought it was, I think, lap 13 to begin with. But after those safety cars, I'm not sure. We could have probably got in on the first one and filled it up.
Well, mate, awesome run tonight. Who would you like to thank, mate? And, mate, awesome result.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'd like to thank yourselves for a great broadcast and a great series. It's a real pleasure to be a part of it. It's just really well run, so really appreciate that and grateful for it. I'd like to thank Jay. Jay and I have been exchanging lap times all week and, helping just push a bit of practice and a bit of pace there to make the race a bit more comfortable. And my teammates at Downforce Racing.
Mate, awesome result. And Cowy, any more questions, mate, before we send him off to
look, Phil, you certainly have set the board to like 2 from 2, buddy. Did you expect that? I know that there's plenty of pace out there, but so far you've put the quality laps down and put it up front, mate.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect to win it. I mean, there are a bunch of quite rapid guys out there. I think anyone in that top 5 or 6 could have probably won the race tonight. Michael keeps creating the all Maltese front row on the qualifying, so that's nice to see. But yeah, look, I didn't have expectations like that. I thought if I can just run some high 15s, save the tyres, then it's really hard to pass here. So if I can get that pace right, then I thought that would be the strat.
Awesome. Well, it certainly worked tonight, mate, and congrats.
Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful week.
I was going to say, before you go, mate, if you win next round, mate, I'll just start calling you Jesus from now on, mate. Doing really well.
I've never actually raced at, I think it's Sandown.
Yep.
Oh, mate, it's a traditional.
I have to hand the Australian card back in.
Well, it
Yeah,
might be a
mate.
baptism of fire, my friend, but certainly you've shown that you can handle it. And thank you to our P1 winner, Phil Vella, for DFR, Downforce Racing. I'm sure you're going to hear more of him. Well done, buddy.
Cheers, guys.
Well done, mate.
All right, so let's bring in our P2 finisher, Ryan Houlihan. P2 again this week, buddy. Jay, well, seems there was a little fuel dilemma, buddy, and you got it handed to you. Are you there, Ryan?
Oh, yep.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry. Yeah, no, that was pretty unfortunate from Jay. Yeah, I knew I was bloody tight on fuel. I'm pretty sure he was fuel saving heaps as well. So I just got a bit lucky there with catching on early. Just trying to fuel save in those safety car periods saved me.
Awesome. Well, we saw you make a couple of nice moves, Michael Cuttajar and David Gallows. So you're obviously enjoying yourself, buddy. It's a hard place to pass. Was it just about capitalising on the mistake? If someone makes a little mistake, you got to be there and Johnny on the spot?
Yeah, I think so. Just try and be as close to the car behind in the previous corner and just going for a bit of a send. I think the last race was I was getting into it a bit, and then this week has been heaps better with the overtakes and feeling more confident in the car.
So, I mean, as a track that was pretty tight tonight, but do you think it's a track that suits the F3s? It did look like it was a lot of fun out there.
Oh, it's so much fun. Like it's just so grippy, these cars and around this track. It's fun to race. It's a bit hard to overtake, but that's enjoyable.
Got to say, talking about grip, mate. What was the tire deg like? Was it massive? Like, did you feel the car go from 100 to 0 almost, or did you feel like it kind of just progressively just got worse and worse?
I think the tires are pretty solid. With the low fuel, the lap times are staying pretty similar the whole way through.
We did
Was
see a
that the
few
real
cars.
problem? I was going to say, is that the problem, the fact that the lap times are so close across the field that the moment you made a mistake, you gave up too much, lost the toe, and that was it done?
You just get eaten up. I think one mistake on the grass, if you can't get back, and if you lose the momentum, it's like game over, really.
Well, it was certainly another great drive from you tonight, buddy. P2 once again. The P1 position eludes you, but I'm sure that that's not going to stay the way all season. But, buddy, you've had a chance to let us know of your sponsors. You get another one right now, so let us know who's giving you guys all the support out there.
Yeah, so cheers to ToySim and Preach Designs for sponsoring us. And I'd just like to shout out the Twitter, AlphaVenturi_.
Awesome, AlphaVenturi_. Well, it's been another awesome drive from you, buddy. You stayed clear of a bit of carnage. It was all happening around you there for a while. But more importantly, did you have fun?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really good. It's such fun around here.
Well, awesome, buddy. Great result again, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again. That is Ryan Houlihan for AlphaVenturi Racing. Great stuff, buddy. Well done.
Cheers.
Well done, mate.
All right, Dave Gallo, bring in with a surprise P3. Dave, you had it there for a while. You were really putting the screws on Phil for a while there, and then Jay, and it they caught you by surprise, and you lost a couple of spots, and then Jay hands it back to you.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with it. I think they sort of got me on the restarts, cold tires, and the AlphaVenturi boys give me a hard time as well on cold tires, but it was all clean and that was good.
Well, mate, I did have a bit of goss, from your team boss and the AlphaVenturi boss. It seems there's a nice sort of healthy rivalry happening between your two teams. So has there been a bit of sledging going on?
No, I wouldn't say that. We've kept it pretty clean. I suppose I sort of come together with Pignata. I think my bad last week, but again on cold tires. But no, the boys are pretty clean and we push each other. That's for sure.
I think it's all tongue in cheek there, but you guys get in the dirt. I know that Adrian sort of gave us a little bit of a heads up that you'd put a fair bit of work into this track this week, mate. So it's paid off. How many laps did you actually do? Did you count them?
We had a bit of a play last night with some of the guys, and I did a session just prior to that. But I'm a fan of the track, so they come together nicely. So
the way Adrian was putting it, he reckoned you did 1,000 to their 10.
no,
The way it sounded.
it wouldn't have been that, but I do enjoy the track, so it did pay off.
Typical teammates, over exaggerating how much practice you put in.
I got to flower it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Well, mate, you had a bit of a battle because obviously you had the Alpha and Shuri boys behind you, plus Cutter Jar, plus Jay in front of you, and Cutter Jar in front of you there for a bit as well. What was kind of like the atmosphere like when you had to kind of just stay there and go, right, what's the goal for tonight? Do I get P3, P2? What was kind of the goal, I should say, actually?
I think the restarts, if I sort of cold tires, I'm not my strong point, that's for sure. So keeping on track to sort of bring up temp and sticking it out and hoping for a mistake. I definitely made a couple of mistakes myself where I sort of run wide, so managed to keep it on track. Was probably the biggest part of it, I think, and pushing. So the guys are fast down the pointy end now. It's tough, that's for sure.
Definitely looks tough, mate. But spread your sponsors, mate, and we'll wrap it up. And yeah.
Yeah, big thanks to Kittens, Driver 808, AML Tech, and you guys at SRW for putting on another series. So thank you.
We're getting a lot of thanks now. I feel bad because we're getting all the thanks.
No, we've earned it. We've earned it, mate. Come on. Plenty of people out there chatting tonight, enjoying the stream. Was it 4 or 5 safety cars? Wasn't it? I think it was 4, J-Mac. He might have got it right okay, so it was a PC crashed for driver 808. That's what happened to him. So we had a few dramas, and great to have all your comments out on the chat there, guys. But yes, once again, a great evening of F3 racing. It is Phil Vella, Ryan Hurlahan, and David Galler, our podium runners tonight. Connor, I once again got to give you a big thanks for jumping in and helping out with the stream tonight, buddy. I know that Brendan's been going through a few things, moving house and stuff, so it's awesome that you were able to jump in and help me, man.
Oh, it's all good, man. Yeah, it's good fun. I don't mind the little F3s. I don't mind it at all. It's good chatting to Dave and Phil and seeing the progress of the little F3s, and yeah, I'll be racing eventually.
It's an absolute master of the field. This is a growing field. We are putting 30 cars out there now for this series. If you're an F3 lover, make sure you come along. Give us that like, hit the subscribe button, and better still, jump in and join the racing. All right, that will wrap up our coverage of SRW, our TCR series and Formula 3 series on our big Super Wednesday show. As always, don't forget to hit that like and follow button on our socials. Hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the action. On behalf of the management and broadcast team here at SRW, thanks to Connor Pixie Nixon for jumping in. We've got Ray, the sainted man, paid up behind the scenes. This is Cowy, your average sim racer, signing off saying good night, and we look forward to seeing you next time on SRW TV.
To Total One, this is amazing. Up and clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble model right now because tell you what, Bruce Tannock and Jamie Dyke just walked away from him.